It is time. We are here again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reconnected. If this is your first time here, please make sure you subscribe. I don't ever say that enough, but I always forget that there could be new friends with us every week, and I'm glad to see everybody. Mr. Dodson, how we doing this week?
Doctor.
Nope, tonight it's just Mr. because today Will did a stint in prison. What?
Yeah, just got back. Actually, I'm pretty tired. But it was a great thing. There's a there's a prison education program started by a philosophy professor at UNC Greensboro named Jeffrey Kaplan, and I was very honored to be invited to come give a talk to some of the incarcerated folks, and they asked me what I'd like to talk about, and I said, well, I think it'd be a great time to talk about the history of blaxploitation movies and host a screening of Cleopatra Jones. And
before we get to the story of Cleopatra Jones, I think this is hilarious. Can you tap your mic for me real quick? It's exactly what I thought. You're holding a mic that's doing nothing for you. You should probably turn the audio input over to the microphone. As Will is figuring out how to work basic technology, let me say hello to some friends real quick. Josephine DeMarco is always here. Thank you, Josephine, for being amazing. Josephine is asking, Will, what is your favorite Christmas-themed work of literature? I'm sure Will have a wonderful answer for that in just a moment. What's going on, Paul and Brendan and Ronnie? And yes, happy Hanukkah to any Jews out there. It is a trying time for many reasons, obviously, for many that are from that area and are practicing active in the Jewish community. So keep yourself safe and celebrate. Will, how's that microphone now?
I literally walked in the door like 2 minutes before the show was supposed to start, having sped back from the correctional facility. And as I was leaving, one of the guards said, "Hey, you got a brake light out." Like, I was like, "Oh, no." Yes. So we showed Cleopatra Jones, and I talked about the history of the blaxploitation cycle, where the term came from. Obviously, a lot of its impact. Talked a little bit about its impact on the new black cinema. We talked a little bit about obstacles and opportunities for black filmmakers today. We talked a little bit about Nia DaCosta, right? First black woman to have a film open #1 in Hollywood, and the first black woman to get thrown under the bus by Kevin Feige. So, for the Marvels.
Oh, man.
Like Paul Abdul said, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, or something like that.
You know, I gotta ask, how was it 2020? How was 2020 the first time that a black woman had a film open #1? That makes logical, like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, 1982 was the first time a black woman directed a feature-length film in nearly 100 years. The last feature-length film directed by a black woman prior to 82 was 1922, Tressie Suter. R1133 says says they're still having.
That was a while ago.
That was a while ago. Okay. So, and that was losing ground, Kathleen Collins, but it wasn't until 1992 that Julie Dash's Daughters of the Dust was the first film directed by a black woman to get wide theatrical release. So it's I don't know if you've heard of this thing called racism in America, but it's.
I thought we solved that like a few times, right?
I don't know if we have any listeners in Florida, but it's real, y'all. You're going to need to order a book across interstate lines. Anyway, the talk was it was a hit. I didn't know what to expect, but there were a lot of guys there who were really into it and who had a lot of knowledge. We talked about like Cornbread Earl and me and Claudine and Dorothy Dandridge and Lena Horne, Stormy Weather, all this great stuff. Well, I'll tell you that this is This is my takeaway. So an older fella came up to me afterwards and wanted to show me a book that he had just gotten called Colorblind. It just came out, History of Black Hollywood. And we talked for a while. Real soft-spoken fella, knew a whole lot and just engaged with me for like 5 or 6 minutes, just really like asking some pointing questions, getting into some details, more of the advanced stuff. And
Yeah.
So I'm leaving with the guard who kind of organizes everything. And I said, hey, that guy was really cool. I enjoyed talking to him. And he's like, oh yeah. Well, he's a lifer. He's real high up in the Bloods. And I was like, oh shit, dude. Okay. So I was glad to be a positive part of his life in that moment.
Yeah. Not something I've talked about a long time in here, but there was a few years of my life I was a sheriff explorer when I was younger, and I could have sworn for the longest time that I was going to be a cop when I got older. And then I think I finally like fell face first into the throes of puberty and went from 6 foot to 6'5" in like a year, and realized not only can I not run because I wear size 18 shoes, it is very difficult to step out of a car when you're 6'5" and be able to chase somebody quickly. So that was one of the things that immediately said, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that.
You know that Sarah Silverman joke about cops, right?
Which one?
She gets pulled over for speed, and then the cop comes, knocks on her window, and says, she rolls it down. He says, you know what I'm doing here? And she goes, because you got all C's in high school.
On that note, any recent pickups or watches you want to talk about?
Funny you should ask, Ryan, because upon my return home, make sure I don't accidentally hit the mute button. There was a box on my doorstep that said Terror Vision.
That's a nice address you got there.
Little company out of. Oh yeah, well. And this is actually the first thing that I've had shipped from TerraVision, because I keep ordering stuff that's pre-order. Let's see, I got a little pouch that says Fortune Teller Miracle Fish, but it's empty. Pack and slip here. Let's see what we got. I got a nice bumper sticker. Keep our swamps clean. Says
nice.
Swamps clean. And let's see what we got. Okay, first of all, we'll be repping the propaganda. I'll probably change into this here directly. We got my TerraVision t-shirt.
Nice.
All right, that's a nice design. And then this is about half the movies I had on pre-order. So let's see which ones came to me today. We've got, these all have the slips, of course. We've got Get My Gun.
Good choice.
Which is the last thing that several of the inmates I saw tonight said. Captives. Very excited about these. Debbie Rochon in Santa Claus. Parasites.
Nice.
And
this time around.
Finally in the shipment, well, this is about half of what they owe me, but we'll see. Had to go for the Snake movie, as Craig in the chat talks about the multitude of cat movies. And at least you may want to get a Mongoose movie as well, because I've got the Snake movie. Yeah, so is it a real bad thing that I showed my address? Am I going to get killed?
I mean, hopefully not. Probably not.
It's a rental. It's a rental, y'all.
We got some chat going down on the Marvels in the comments here, and I really wanted to highlight one thing, that the WandaVision Steelbook came in. Still a miracle that this thing exists. Not like it. not ecstatic with Disney all the time, but stoked when they do stuff like that. And because I got it from Disney Movie Club, they sent a little lithograph with it as well.
Oh, nice.
One other thing that I really wanted to highlight is how many people I saw posting that they got their Physical Media Advocate Volume 6 this week. And real stoked that everybody's happy with that. I hope that you enjoy it. I was hoping for the 2 compendiums on the past ones to be out already, but Amazon is super finicky about like the border sizes and all that, and I have to redo the entire thing. So they'll be up. They'll be up soon. It's pretty damn annoying.
Well, that's a huge volume, dude.
Yeah, nice. That was a nice quick change. A couple more things. I wanted to highlight how supporting friends that do stuff is always important. There is another artist on YouTube named Ja that made this. It's called Murder by the Dozen. It's a little art zine, and he's incredible. So I ordered that from him. He sent a thank you note with a bunch of stickers in it, and then even hand painted the packaging. Pretty dang rad. Check out the Painter Files on YouTube if you're into something like that. Will, did you ever see the movie The Final Girls?
No, not yet.
Came out in like 2015 or so. This is the film, and I wanted to give everybody a heads up if you wanted to watch it. I was able to speak to the director of The Final Girls, and that is a long interview that's releasing next Monday. It's already available on the Patreon if you want to sign up the link below. It was a really great conversation, and I think it's one of my favorite ones. We got really deep talking about death and a whole bunch of other stuff. Not to mention, it's a guy that really loves physical media, and yeah, it's a fun conversation. And speaking of physical media, last thing I wanted to talk about, I got hand delivered this wonderful package from Scarecrow Video after how I did the interview with Joel recently. And last time we talked, Joel was stoked on the interview, and we have him scheduled for Reconnected next Thursday. So Joel's going to be here next week. I got a hand delivered package from Scarecrow, and they're great people. Really just wanted to highlight them.
Nice.
Recent watches. One thing I wanted to highlight. I finally saw a Miyazaki film. I watched Howl's Moving Castle. That's the first one I've ever seen.
Really?
Really? Have you seen most all of his?
Most, yeah. I used to teach a course on like origins of anime, and so we watched some of Miyazaki's early stuff. And my middle child, he loves My Neighbor Totoro, and so every time Fathom does a anime Studio Ghibli festival, we go to the theater to see My Neighbor Totoro.
Nice. Yeah, the animation in Howl's Moving Castle was astonishing, obviously. But the big thing that struck me is how much these films are marketed towards younger kids, and yet the movie is just so much more complex than any of the other animated films that are Western films that are marketed towards kids. There's long, complex storylines. There's things that are almost like sci-fi based that you would just expect somebody watching this. You need to know it before going in, and they just assume that you'll figure it out. There's no like catering to a 4-year-old as they're watching it. They're just, hey, you can get this. It's just a movie. Just dive in and you'll have fun, and it's freaking great. It's so much fun.
Yeah, we used to have expectations for kids, and now we just coddle them. So, yeah, the inmates tonight got so into the conversation. I was like, oh, thanks, fellas. I was doing this same movie last semester, and I just had a sea of like atrophied faces, and the guys were like, well, tell them they could be in prison.
Right.
So pay attention.
Tony wants to know, do I watch them dubbed or in Japanese? Because I watched it with the kids for the first time, I watched it dubbed. But we have subtitles on all the time, so I'm not necessarily against that. But there's a 7-year-old, so I figured it's probably better that he could understand it as well.
Oh, man. I'll tell you a moment of dubbed anime that caused me some confusion. I feel like I've actually told this story on the channel like a long time ago, but it bears repeating. So I took my youngest daughter, and this is when she was probably 5 or 6 years old, to see Pompoko, which I'd never seen before. And I was like, oh, it's like fucking raccoons. It's cute. It's like raccoons fighting against suburban overdevelopment into their forest. So we're watching this movie, and it's dubbed. And the theater's full of parents and kids. And I noticed these raccoons are always sitting on these like
giant balls.
Things. I'm like, is that their balls? And in the dub, they keep referring to their raccoon pouches. I'm just like, okay, well, I guess they're marsupials or something. And then they like fly and they stretch the raccoon pouch out like glide wings. And then, but about halfway through, I was like, no, that's their fucking testicle, their scrotum. They're flying with their scrotum. So I get home, I look around, and none of the kids seem bothered. None of the other parents seem bothered. So I'm like, well, maybe I'm the only one that sees that these are dangling raccoon balls. And I go home and I Google, the mythology of these mystical raccoons in Japan, and sure enough, they keep all their magic in their balls. That's the Japanese myth of these magic balled raccoons.
I love that you were already saying that, and Sibner says, and then Will Googled raccoon balls and ruined his search history. Literally, yes, that's exactly what happened.
That was like the third adjective before balls that I Googled that day.
Just that day. Yeah, I've always laughed at that scene where they show them. I think they're like paratrooping out of a plane or something, right? That scene is played everywhere. I love that. Gosh, yeah, and that is kind of what I was leading up to, JJ, is that Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron is getting a wide release date this week. And if you are into it, this is the kind of thing that you probably should give some time to go support in the theater. It's really damn cool to see stuff like this get a wide release. And I know everybody everywhere is all over Godzilla -1, which is great. Keep supporting that as well. Nothing against it. But man, The Boy and the Heron is not going to get nearly as much play as it probably should, coming from a brilliant mind like Miyazaki.
Well, speaking of wide release, make sure you're prepared for that heron's cloaca. Is that how you say that word?
I think so. Last thing I really wanted to highlight before we go into the announcements for the week. Obviously, we are very much preaching to the choir with this, and I didn't even prepare Will for this, so I'm not sure if he saw it, but early this week, and actually I think it started Friday after last week's show, Sony came out and started sending emails to everybody that they were going to be removing Discovery content from people's Sony digital accounts that they had purchased, not rented, not downloaded, but purchased. And obviously, everybody watching this, you probably know that physical media is the way to go for the most part. Just a reminder that these are the stories that are coming out that are going to make people turn away from streaming. On top of all the raising prices, on top of all of the libraries getting thrashed about, on top of people, seeing the films that they had saved in their list just disappear because it's no longer on any services. This is the kind of thing when somebody thinks they've paid for something and it just disappears from their accounts. This is where you can step in and be, not to make a pun out of the name of this, but you can be the physical media advocate and say, listen, I can help you get set up. Do you have a DVD player? Do you have a Blu-ray player? Do you want tips on the best one? I know that there's a lot of stuff that goes behind this and things that cost a lot of money, but at the same time, we should be the ambassadors for this sort of thing. And genuinely, I do think that we're going to see a little bit of a resurgence for some of this. In a month where Oppenheimer sold out everywhere, and they easily sold probably, we don't know the exact number, but probably 50,000 4K copies of Oppenheimer, which is insanity in 2023. And what was that?
Different topic.
You're free to say something.
No, I was going to talk about Oppenheimer. I'm about 6 months too late, but I saw it.
I get it.
But the point is this. What are you down? What do you buy from Discovery? Like reality shows or?
I mean, yeah, that's probably some of it for some people, but I first off, I don't think anybody truly knows what all this covers because Discovery famously bought WB, and who knows how that line is blurred. So that's, I mean, it could get rough.
WB like Warner Brothers, or WB CW.
No, WB Warner Brothers.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah,
Well,
that's not a small studio.
recently another YouTube entity said that we had nothing to worry about with those
I
digital.
think I heard that, but I wanted to make sure that people knew that there's
I
definitely
trusted you.
there's definitely some reasons to keep your guard up and make sure that we are still preaching the good word. And obviously, physical media is probably never going to go back to the golden age of like 2006 when everything was on DVD. You could find, snap cases were everywhere, and Anchor Bay could get away with releasing 15 covers of The Evil Dead. Like, I get that will never come back.
Still do that.
However,
Still happening.
we could do a little bit better than we've been doing. So hopefully we get there.
Well, yeah.
I was waiting for a sentence to come. Now that we're past that, do you want to discuss Oppenheimer for just a second? Because I never went fully into detail on what I thought because of the whole strike thing.
I posted a joke about Christopher Nolan in the Discord about a week ago, and then I came back and checked, and there was like 800 comments about the relative merits of different Nolan movies. I don't want to get that shit started again.
Nolan is contentious for a lot of film bros, so I get it.
Well, I had a bad experience with Oppenheimer, and part of it is not Oppenheimer's fault, which is something Oppenheimer doesn't hear too often. It's not your fault, bro. But the reason I went to see it is we have an IMAX nearby. You all can just check my address earlier in the video.
You can find out which theater he went to.
And it was still playing. This is like beginning in November. I was like, oh, it's still playing in the IMAX. I should go see it. So I went to see it in the IMAX. And like so many modern IMAXs, whoever is running the projector room doesn't know what they're doing. And they just crank the sound up so loud that it's hard to understand the dialogue. And then when there's like one of the many explosion shots, I had to put my fingers in my ears. I was the only person in the theater because it had been out for 6 months or whatever. Right. So I kept moving around trying to get away from the speakers, but there was no way to do it. So that part of the movie was not Oppenheimer's fault. But I tell you the thing that surprised me, and I'm not to Craig's point, I don't have an extreme opinion about Nolan one way or the other. I tend not to like his movies that I've seen. Which should come as no surprise to anybody who's seen me on this before. Like, if you like it, I probably don't, But the thing that surprised me about Oppenheimer, having heard so many wonderful things about it, is how conventional it was. Like, it was just, to me, it was just another great man brought down by his own hubris, leaving a trail of broken-hearted women in his wake. Yep. And it's like, I've seen that movie a million times. So, I saw it. And I'm always glad when a movie in a theater is successful, even if it's projected incorrectly. And I'm even more happy when a movie is successful on physical media because a rising mushroom cloud radiates all boats.
Wow, that might be a great quote to use in the future. And we've talked about so many times that the studios behind these things, they don't make enough on these releases to really motivate them to do better. But this is the exact sort of thing that can actually change some sort of tide. And granted, this was like a perfect crossing of like three different, possible chances at once, with the whole Barbenheimer thing happening and it being Nolan that was a part of it. And then when it came out, it was a film that Nolan championed in an interview. So all of those things crossing at exactly the moment, and suddenly 50,000 copies are gone in 1 week. That's a big deal. And so now,
Nolan's camp actually pushed Margot Robbie to change the release date of Barbie, and she refused.
Yep.
So credit to Margot Robbie. Apparently Nolan had a superstition about June 21st and wanted his movie to come out unopposed. So no credit to Insecure Men. But I'll tell you a movie I am excited about. Barbenheimer by Full Moon Entertainment, which is coming out later this year. That's going to be awesome.
Anyways, selling 50,000 copies in that first week can actually, and will, I guarantee you, make an actual blip on Universal's ledger. And that sort of thing is the thing that they will look back at the end of this year and go, what were our major successes? Oh, that 1 week was a shit show because we couldn't keep this film on the shelves. And so maybe in the future, maybe we should actually look forward to other things.
Now we're going to get 100 biopics of hubristic men.
I mean, I don't think that's the case.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll still get them, of course. I don't think that they're going to create them just because of this. I'm talking about more physical media.
Next year will be the Andrew Tate story coming to theaters near you.
Anyways.
That's that bad guy got arrested, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Hubristic men.
What a word. And speaking of Andrew Tate, should we get started on announcements?
What is it? He was like a masculinist or something. I don't know these people.
I think he's one of those. That's probably a good word, like forcing men to be manly men.
Oh my God, how pathetic! Sort of how pathetic. These guys, I see them all the time about like, oh, traditional manly values and all this shit. It's like, dude, we know you got a little penis. It's like these guys that drive the trucks with no muffler on. Like, just announce it to the world.
I hesitate to go down this tangent because I've gotten literally a bad review on the podcast for being too political, but this is too funny to not bring up. I don't know. What I'm about to say is I normally don't watch any of the news channels or anything, but my wife, I believe it was, sent me a news clip. I don't remember if it was Fox or CNN or somebody. They ran a clip of President Biden drinking like a coffee or something, and he had a straw. And the only thing that they could point out was that he was drinking a straw, and it's so tiny, and his fingers are dainty. Men shouldn't drink out of straws. What?
He was puckering his lips.
How is that news? Anyways, this is about.
This is the same people that were trying to get you to pay money to put UV light on your taint.
Anyways, enough about
that's true.
And dainty manly straws.
Google Tucker Carlson taint.
Please don't.
You'll be fine. You don't even have to put the private browser on that.
Hey, Will, how about we talk about movies and physical media? Does that sound?
Yeah, happy holidays, everybody. I'm really glad to be here. The beginning of the holiday season. Happy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. Merry Christmas. We were going to Josephine asked what our favorite Christmas or holiday stories were. We should start with that.
Please do. I asked you that a long time ago while you were changing your microphone.
I didn't hear you because I was changing my microphone. I have to go with O. Henry because he's a hometown Greensboro, North Carolina boy who did prison time for tax evasion. But then made a comeback with The Gift of the Magi. That's my favorite Christmas story. I like Gift of the Magi. I like it when people suffer and somehow find happiness at the end of it. That's why Martyrs is one of my favorite date movies.
You are on one tonight, man. Prison left a weird experience for you.
No change, man. Nobody comes out the same.
Well, let's get into the announcements then, my friend. We started with OCN, and because
Oh
it's
shit, dude.
partners only month,
Oh my
we
god.
we only have 16 partner label titles to cover, and this is the start of them. The first one is from Decanalog, and this is called Charlie Victor Romeo, and this is from 2013. And the more and more you read about this, the more interesting I think this one looks. This says it's a unique and riveting theatrical experience. Charlie Victor Romeo is a performance documentary derived entirely from the black box transcript of 6 major real life airline emergencies. Now, what's odd about this is a 3D release. So it comes and you can play it on a 3D player, or you can do the whole red and blue glasses thing. But if you watch the trailer, it is 2 guys pretending to be pilots in front of a black curtain.
Yeah, this movie combines the hysteria of going down in a plane with the hysteria of theatrical acting. It's a
In
big
3D.
in 3D. It's big. Well, they were inspired by Wim Wenders' Pena, this 3D ballet movie. They were like, we should do a film like that, except have them sitting down motionless the entire time.
And that's why I'm confused. Like, do we need extra depth of two men sitting in front of a curtain?
I have to admit, I am intrigued by the concept of this.
Me too.
I'm terrified of watching it, as some listeners will know. I had a aeronautical mishap on my way to meet Ryan physically for the first time, and I have not flown since, and I'm not looking forward to doing it.
I still can't believe you refused to fly home and you chose to walk. That was such a long journey.
Yeah, well, I'd always wondered about the verisimilitude of that part of Forrest Gump. I wanted to see if it was possible.
Well, thank goodness you shaved since then. Yeah, this one's interesting. It's got a commentary from the director on here, and PBS NewsHour reports on some of these disasters, which I think is kind of a cool little bonus feature. But
Okay, I like this as a long time fan of horror movies. I am afraid to watch this movie.
well, and that's the thing. Ronnie says maybe the 3D is supposed to make it even more realistic. And my mind, when I first read that this was 3D, all I could think was, do we want this to be immersive? Like, that is a terrible word choice to use with this sort of film.
Like you're really in a 25-seat theater.
I mean, I'm very interested in seeing this, probably only once, but this is an interesting choice. And some of the quotes used for this are literally like, this is the most terrifying film. The quote they use here: this chilling and groundbreaking production stretches the boundaries of film, theater, and the traditional documentary with this stereoscopic 3D film of a stage play that recreates transcripts word for word. CVR transports film audiences into the best seats of the theater and delivers the intensity and gut-wrenching emotion of these emergencies via the unique approach of live performance.
I tell you, I am intrigued. It's like Craig just made the exact comment I was going to make. Yeah, it's like, what if Faces of Death were a theatrical performance?
And only in cockpits. All right, so that's the release from Decanalog. Next title is from Canadian International Pictures, and it is The Dog Who Stopped the War. This one sounds really great, but I got to admit, the funniest comment I got was, man, the English language translation of this film really spoils the movie for you. I guess you're not supposed to know that it's a dog who stops the war. That was supposed to be a secret.
The moment this film was announced, the David Bowie / Nirvana "Man Who Sold the World" song has been in my head, with new parody lyrics that I've been making up as time has gone on. Once I'm finished with the composition, I'll share it with people. The Dog Who Stopped the War. Well, I gotta say, the trailer for that one looked so cool. I want to watch this one with my kid.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be very kid friendly. Just want to highlight that if you want to download Will's cover version of that Bowie song, it will be available on the Patreon by the end of the week. So sign up at the link below. This one was scanned in 2K from the original 35mm OCN. It has the theatrical cut and the extended cut in both French and English. There's a commentary with Kayla Janice and Ralph Elawani, and special guests are on that. There's a feature-length documentary celebrating the film's 25th anniversary from 2009, and then some shorts. We got some new interviews and some archival interviews. So this is a pretty extensive release. This sounds like a really fun one.
I think what I'll do for the song is just replace the vocal with like dog barks like they do with Christmas carols. And that'll be the dog that can stop the war.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Carrie Mulligan says The Dog Who Stopped the War is a sweet film, but the ending will divide audiences. Interesting. Does the war restart?
Spoiler alert, I bet I know how he stops the war.
Too many jokes. Craig says the last two CIP releases are so far away from Mr. Marriott's taste. Someone else had to have a hand in these choices. Oh, that's funny. Next one up is from Big World Pictures, and this one is a double feature of In Bloom, and this is the cover of the slip for In Bloom, and then the other one is My Happy Family, and that is the back of the slip. Man, Big World Pictures is one of those labels that don't release a whole lot, but their titles are always at least intriguing. And I really want to check some of them out, but I've not watched a single one yet. And I'm dying to be able to watch some of these.
That's so funny that In Bloom was next, since we just referenced Nirvana. But this one I ordered immediately on announcement day, in part because I'm really fascinated by Georgian cinema, not Atlanta, Georgia, but the country Georgia. And no, I mean The Walking Dead's been, but Georgian.
I thought you were a big fan of Tyler Perry.
I mean, yeah, but the Georgia. About 15 years ago, I saw this documentary called Power Trip, and it was a documentary about the difficulty that Georgia was having with its electrical grid. And essentially, I mean, and the footage of how buildings were being wired will like scare the shit out of you. Like power strips connected to each other and powering entire like apartment buildings. And what was going on, of course, you'll be shocked to know, is that an American company had swooped in after the collapse of the Soviet Union and was gouging the Georgian government for money and everything. And then as things started to fall apart, they pulled out. And guess who swooped in to save the day?
I wonder who.
Russia. And guess who is now kind of a supportive flunky state of Russia right now? Georgia. So there's all these like economic things that ties America and Georgia and Russia together that has consequence to what's going on right now with the war against Ukraine. And what does that have to do with In Bloom and My Happy Family? Well, what I'm interested in is just seeing, right, the stories that are being told during this period of time, right? These are set in the early 90s when Georgia had just become independent, and there was all this like hope and energy and everything. But these films were made in 2013, 2017, after, the filmmakers knew, what was actually going to come. Now I see December is rushing me along, and I'm like, I don't know if you've seen me on this show before, but that's not really my bag, like I ramble. And John Peters is right. Yeah, we do the same thing to our own states. Well, that's the free market.
Well, just like Will is talking about Georgia's, remember, for Will's sake, there is no Russian.
Yeah, you can't. No Russian in this. No Russians in this show.
Next up is King on Screen, the documentary from this year. This is coming out from Dark Star Pictures, and nothing against this. Obviously, I had the gentleman from Dark Star Pictures on the channel, so I'm not. This is very careful criticism. The back of the slipcover. This is so much better. I feel like this absolutely should have been the cover.
Man, I thought you were coming with some devastating critique.
No, isn't that so much better?
How bad the movie was or something.
The front of it, like, okay, I get it, Stephen King, and he's famous and whatever, but God, the back is so much better.
Well, I think, in life and in romance, it's always a pleasant surprise when the back is better.
On that note, this is a documentary about Stephen King. This says King on Screen pulls back the curtain and offers an intimate sit down with the filmmakers who brought King's stories to life. On this, we have a making of, a first trailer, a 77-minute version of the film. The entire release is 105 minutes, so that one's interesting. There is a deleted shot from the intro, very specifically one shot. Photo gallery behind the scenes, and then long commentary of the intro. Interesting. And a making of shooting in the main intro. Yes. Not a whole lot on the disc other than the film.
I mean, a shorter version of the film.
Ooh. Okay, I'm in.
Like, if you're in a rush, if you're like, I really need to see what's up with Stephen King adaptations, then you can just watch the 77-minute version.
Next up is from Yellow Veil Pictures, and they are putting out Lady World. And this one had a previous release semi-recently, a few years ago, from another label. The big thing is this has a pretty decent name draw in this of Maya Hawke. And she's gotten pretty big after her Stranger Things appearance. I think she's a main character now. But yeah, this will probably do much better now that they are on Yellow Veil. And the big thing is that first release did not have many, if it had any, special features. And this one is from 2018, and it says 8 teenage girls are trapped in an endless birthday party after a massive earthquake. When one goes inexplicably missing, a menacing power struggle takes hold. Then rumors of a male prowler push the girls' fragile psyches even further into a series of strange rituals and fierce delirium. I've not seen this one, and this sounds really interesting.
Well, I saw some rave comments by Sam Deegan, who, by the way, also does not like Oppenheimer. We are the same, she and I. So I guess I'm right. But anyway, there were some rave reviews by Sam Deegan and by I want to say Alexandra Heller Nicholas. Oh, she wrote an essay too. Yeah. So I watched the trailer and was like, But then I read these rave comments and I was like, So I think I might check it out.
Oh, what a walk down that path. This one is going to have 5 deleted scenes, an alternate opening scene, a commentary track with Amanda Kramer and the co-writer and editor Benjamin Shern, a rejected teaser, and a trailer. There is Amanda Kramer, the debut feature film Paris Window, the trailer for that film, and then a short film called Bark, a short film called Intervene, and a written essay by Alexandra Heller Nicholas. There is a lot in this release. Way more than that last movie we just looked at.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sam Deegan, I just found out today I'm appearing in a podcast with her later in 2024, talking about a Deaf Crocodile film, and I can't wait.
Oh, that's cool. What podcast? Can you say?
I probably shouldn't. Not yet. Next up is Saturn's Core. Huh?
I was gonna never mind.
Well, now you have to make the joke.
No, I was just gonna guess the most like ludicrous one it could be.
What in your mind? What's the most ludicrous one?
You know.
I don't know. I want to hear it.
I don't want
It's a Serial. Yes, we're on the True Crime podcast, Serial.
That's it. Yeah.
Saturn's Core released a catalog slipcover. I think this is the first label that's a partner label to do this. They put out another slipcover for Mail Order Murder, the documentary on Wave Productions. I'm going to show the other side for like 2 seconds and then flip back because there's animated, or not animated, hand-drawn nipples and boobs. Here we go. That's it. Okay, back on this side.
Do you know what's funny? That slipcover cost almost as much as a Wave production film.
You know, I wasn't going to say much. I love this documentary. So if you're interested, you should definitely buy the documentary. But I do find it odd that Vinegar Syndrome lowered the price of their slipcovers in this last sale that they just had from $8 to $7. But the Saturn's Core one is $9.
Well, have you noticed that the Saturn's Core discs are a little bit more expensive?
I have not.
Yeah, for the subscriber price is a little more expensive lately. First, I thought it was because of them having double features, but then I was like, no, they always have double features.
He has been doing double discs, though, which would raise the price. I don't know if the last few have been like that, but I know the ones that are double discs, he definitely charges a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd have to check. That's not a slam. I think, especially these last few releases, Saturn's Core has been putting out some really intriguing stuff. And the increased price is noticeable, but not like a deal breaker.
Saturn's Core has kind of been like, I don't even know what to say, like spreading their wings a little bit compared to what they were doing for so long. And it's kind of nice to see. There's a lot more stuff that's in the vein of what they've been doing. That's not just one genre of like trashy fake blood. And it's nice to see them, flexing that at least a little bit. Sorry about the nipples there, Ronnie. I'll work on that for next time. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say something nipply, but I'm going to let it go. Let's go to the next one.
Let's go to the next one and talk about some Deaf Crocodile. Craig in the chat, by all means, share anything you'd like us to know about this. This title is The Mysterious Castle and the Carpathians from 1981. Really intriguing slipcover on this one. Love the style of this. This looks great. It says a unique. Go ahead.
You know what I appreciate? The back has its own identity, but it doesn't overshadow the front.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of attention to detail that Deaf Crocodile is known for. I am a little disappointed to see 0 cats.
Maybe that's the big twist. The cat shows up 2/3 through to save Christmas or stop the war. Dang it, I messed it up.
The Mysterious Castle of the Carpathians.
Oh man,
it's a perfect mystery.
Jan Svenkmeyer designed gadgets throughout the film. That's interesting.
Oh, cool. Yeah, dude. If anybody wants to get a taste of a sort of Terry Gilliam-esque filmmaker with similar humor, similar sense of humor, this is the way to go for sure. Oh, Terry Gilliam's actually mentioned in I did not know that. I hadn't read the description, but yeah, okay. Well, good. That means we thought the same.
This one says a unique and almost indescribable mix of gothic fiction, steampunk gadgetry, slapstick comedy, and romantic opera. I mean, that's a lot of interesting ideas right there slapped into one already. Director Oldfitch Lipsky's wonderfully bonkers delight has elements of the Fearless Vampire Killers, Terry Gilliam, Mel Brooks, and the Benny Hill Show. Based on an 1892 Jules Verne novel, The Carpathian Castle, the film follows Count Teleki of Toloco, that was probably mispronounced terribly, on the trail of the Count's lost lover, opera singer Salsa Verde, only to discover she's been abducted by fiendish Baron Gork of Gorkany, whose castle home is filled with the bizarre inventions of mad scientist Orphanik. I feel like I just had a stroke there. Ancient Pixel says, speaking of movies involving cats, there's another cat movie which I won't name, but I hope to see it released or announced next year. Yeah, this one sounds wild. We've got a new restoration by Mr. Craig in the chat. New video interview with the Czech film critic and screenwriter Teresa Bechova on her father. That's interesting. New essay by expert on Central and Eastern European cinema, Jonathan Owen. New commentary by the Teresa name that I mentioned, and Czech film expert Irina Kovarova of Comeback Company. 2 eerie and beautiful animated short films, and Blu-ray authoring by Fidelity in Motion, as usual.
Yeah, well, those of us who supported the Kickstarter already have it, and I got to tell you, it's awesome.
There was not a Kickstarter for this one, just so you know.
Oh, wait, what am I thinking of? Oh, no.
Visitors from the Arcana Galaxy.
Yeah. No. I confused them. I have already ordered Mysterious Castle on the Carpathian from the first day of partner label month.
Oh, William.
Excuse me.
Next title is
Momentary Lapse.
Queen of Earth from 2015, and this is the first film from new partner label IFC Films. This is an Alex Ross Perry title, and this one looks interesting. This one stars Elizabeth Moss, I believe. And IFC Films, if you don't know anything about IFC, their blurb on the Vinegar Syndrome site says, established in 2000 and based in New York City, IFC Films is a leading U.S. distributor of independent film. Its unique distribution model makes independent films available to a national audience by releasing them in theaters as well as on VOD. Partnered with OCN, IFC will release new titles on home video and revisit past favorites in brand new editions, with many making their HD physical media debuts.
Yeah, I watched the trailer for this, and I got to say, as we continue through the OCNs, this month is White Girls Going Crazy month for the partner labels. Around the world, too. But this looked pretty intriguing. I watched the trailer. I had not heard of this movie, which I thought was surprising given the relative visibility of the cast. And Perry. So this one slipped through my radar, which admittedly is spotty. As people have pointed out in the Discord, there are major blind spots in my in my film viewing. But this is something I definitely want to see. Yeah,
this looks very, very good.
I'm gonna do a double feature with Lady World.
There you go. Sounds horrible. There's a brand new audio commentary with Alex Ross Perry in this, and then Sean Price Williams, the cinematographer, is in there, and the actress Hari Neff. New interview with the composer, audio commentary from 2016 with Alex Ross Perry, and then a video conversation from 2021 with Alex Ross Perry and Catherine Waterston behind the scenes, and then a new video essay by Sam Deegan on this with a booklet with an essay by Alexandra Heller Nicholas. Got them both on the same release. That's pretty dang great. Sibner is amazed that they chose this as their premiere title. And yeah, I agree. Moss is a pretty dang great actor. Dude, did you ever see The Invisible Man from 2020?
I did.
What'd you think of that one?
I liked it, and I was really glad I went by myself and not with my wife, because I feel like her entire life would have welled up and the rage would have come out on me, because for good reason. Like,
right.
I was very impressed with The Invisible Man. I thought it wasn't being subtle with its analogy, but it was being pretty accurate about how gaslighting and all that work. Really well. I like. It was very tense and well put together. And that's a James Wan movie, right?
No, Lee Wan-el.
The other one.
The other guy, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this guy's a actual filmmaker. That's pretty good.
Yes, Lee Wan-el is pretty dang good.
I loved it. I'm going with I loved it. Oh man, that's a good segue to fucking Scrapbook. Jesus Christ.
Next title is Saturn's Core releasing Scrapbook from 1999, which
Trigger warning.
man, does this one look wild. Scrapbook is about Leonard, who is a depraved serial killer who is documenting his atrocities by keeping a scrapbook of the torment he inflicts, forcing each of his victims to personally chronicle their horrific ordeal within the pages before experiencing their grim demise. When he abducts Clara, she too must unwillingly add her suffering to the pages of the book. Filthy, naked, and trapped amidst the decaying remains of previous victims, Clara is repeatedly beaten, raped, starved, and humiliated by her unhinged captor. She soon realizes that her only hope for survival is to manipulate Leonard through her writing by authoring a final and cunning chapter to his macabre and cherished compendium of horrors. Now, I've not seen Scrapbook, but everybody that's been talking about it says this is a very like August Underground-esque type of title.
It's a tough watch. But and here's what I'm talking about. This is not a double disc release. Am I right?
I don't remember.
Doesn't look like it. But it is a little. It's a couple bucks more than usual. So again, not a deal breaker. Really, the movie is the deal breaker. You got to really think about it before you decide to get this one because it's a tough watch.
Have you seen this one previously?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's intense. I mean, if one were inclined, you could put together a group of friends and watch it and have a pretty robust debate over the movie itself, but also, this is 2001. The last 20 some years since Scrapbook, what's changed, what's the same, etc. It's a troubling but impressive film, movie, whatever.
Yeah, this one looks harrowing. First of all, this has a brand new commentary by the director, archival commentary track, a new 2023 retrospective documentary that is going to feature interviews with the director and actress, and an archival documentary from 2005, deleted scene behind the scenes. There's a lot going into this release, and it looks like a really, really solid release for this.
I tell you, Emily Hagg, I don't know. I'll have to Google. Did she? I don't think she entered the industry, did she? But she's.
I don't think so. Of course, I had to click away. Next title is Skateboard. This one is coming from Factory 25.
Oh no, she's in the industry. Oh shit, she was born in St. Louis, buddy.
Interesting. I wonder if this was the Springfield title that he was talking about.
Well, yeah, all very low budget independent films. Oh, she's in Savage Harvest 2, October Blood. Oh well, anyway.
I think that is the title that Ross was talking about last time. Then he was saying that he was. I think he had interviews in Springfield, and I think Savage Harvest and the sequel were both done in Springfield. Next one is Skateboard, like I said, from Factory 25. This was recently a Kickstarter title for them, and it like barely limped towards the goal on the last day. So I'm glad to see that this is getting a release. And the slipcover looks magnificent. This looks really good.
Both sides are good. And you know what? I can't wait to do a double feature of this and Roller Boogie. You know Roller Boogie, Mark L. Lester?
Yeah.
With Linda Blair. That shit's crazy good.
Yeah.
And some people might have expected me to do Skateboard and like Lords of Dogtown or something. No, I'm doing Roller Boogie. I want the era.
Makes perfect sense to me. This one is from 78, and it's going to have a brand new restoration of the movie, interview with the director, George Gage, a commentary from 2010, and then a 24-page booklet with Tony Alva's 1978 skateboard glossary that was written in 78, and then essays by the director and Jenny Gage, the director of All This Panic. So this one looks pretty dang fun.
I want to issue a challenge to the chat. I want as many of you as are able to get Skateboard and over the next few months, start introducing 1978 skateboard glossary terms into the chats each week. Create a new dialect that combines the 2023 text speak of millennial and post millennials with 1978 skateboard slang. That's what I want to see.
That's awesome.
It will be. I think I believe that some people are going to do it. I'm committing. I'm going to do it.
We'll see Will next month if he gets it on time.
Yeah.
Next title is from Umbrella, and we get 1988's Sons of Steel. And man, this has one of the wildest I don't know what we call it, still images on their site promoting the film.
Now, see, here's one where the front and the back make good use of the back.
You want to see that again, Will?
Yeah, both the front and the back make good use of the back. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I agree.
This is awesome.
This one says, the nuttiest, wildest, most utterly insane science fiction, time-traveling, rock opera, eco-terrorist action film Australia has ever produced. If you're a fan of adjectives, you'll probably like this movie. This one also has the alternate open gate feature presentation in HD, the making of, MTV goes to the Australian premiere, access all areas. Sons of Steel destroys the movie show, short film, a music video, another music video, and a trailer, plus a printed comic book. This sounds pretty rad.
Oh, man, I wonder if it's Kurt Loder.
1988?
That'd be awesome.
That should be pretty close. Paul says, I quite like that cover, the original Umbrella local release on the Beyond Genres line. Yeah. Sons of Steel's gotten a few releases over the last few years.
I feel like that's the title of a Man of War album. You know Man of War?
Of course, yeah, it might be. It's not. Next title. I don't know how to pronounce this one properly. I want to try. Stilka. Huh? Stilka?
Stilka.
Heinz and 15 from 1987.
No. 15.
That's what I said.
You said 15.
So 15. Is that better? Is that better? This one looks pretty crazy as well. If you've not, I would check out the trailer on this one and the stills. This one looks pretty interesting.
Oh man, absolutely. This was an immediate order for me.
This one says 15-year-old Heinz Stilka, I forgot how you said it, is a Hitler youth fanatic who is devastated to learn a hidden truth about his respected father, who was a German officer in World War II. He was Jewish. Yeah, this one immediately was one that I definitely had to pick up. Very curious to see how this turns out. I'm just hoping, Altered Innocence got a little bit of flack recently for one of the encoding on one of their discs was not great. It got compressed to hell. They used a 25 gig disc, and for people that are paying full price on that, that's kind of rough to have it not look great. And when you put a whole full length film on that in 2023 with extra features and everything, there's a lot that could make that really not look too good.
I renounce them.
I don't. They do great work, and I hope it all looks great.
Oh man, I cannot wait. I've read about this film over the years, and I cannot wait to finally see it.
I had heard about this vaguely, I think, and I think it was because what release year? Yeah, 87. So this came out the year I was born, and it's one of those titles that I've been wanting to see for quite some time. Next title from the OCN labels is from another new label. This is coming from Art Label, which is like a spin-off of Culture Shock releasing. And this one is Surf Reality Movie of the Month Club Collection from 1991 and 1992. And oh my gosh, does this look wild. This says the New York performance art scene in the late 80s was teeming with talents. Enter Robert Pritchard and Jennifer Baptiste, who decided that the madness happening nightly needed to be preserved on videotape under the moniker of surf reality. At the same time, genre favorite Matt Mittler was challenged to improvise a feature film in a single day. Pritchard and Mittler joined forces to shoot a series of one-day features on video, and so the Movie of the Month Club was born. This collection features all of the tantalizing and gonzo Movie of the Month Club videos, including Kid Scarface, Maniac a Go-Go, Dick and Jane Drop Acid and Die, I Was a Teenage Bride of Christ, Thrill Kill Video Club, Alien Sex Phone Psycho, Les Enfants Miserables, as well as the Turf of Savage Homicides, and the home video version of Matt Mittler's play Macbeth, King of Scotland.
I can't wait to watch this shit.
The other big thing, like I said, Art Label is new, and their blurb says, Art Label is the new outlet for envelope-pushing art house and experimental cinema, growing from previous work under the Verboten Video and Culture Shock releasing banners. Art Label is focusing on films that challenge traditional rules of form and content. Art Label is broadening its roots in horror and exploitation, reaching into other dimensions of expression to give new kicks to a well-versed audience of cinematic thrill seekers. Even the most hardened moviegoers will find stimulation in Art Label's releases.
What does it mean? Where'd that phrase "push the envelope" come from? Somebody needs to Google that for me.
I'm sure that we will get an answer to that in just a minute.
Yeah, DeSibner or somebody find out. Because I can think of various scenarios where an envelope is pushed in movies and such, but it doesn't. The ones I can think of don't mean what the phrase seems to mean. So I want to know, what does it mean to push the envelope? Where'd that come from? What does that refer to?
It's a good question.
How, in fact, is surf reality pushing or Art Label pushing the envelope?
I would love to find out how.
Mm.
Sivner says, what was it? I was eating cookies.
Damn, that's some serious concentration. It's like
next one. I'm sure
eating.
I'm sure Will is excited to talk about Ed Wood's Take It Out in Trade. This one's coming from AGFA, and the big thing, they had put this out previously, but this was the brand new release because it was out of print, and now it has a slipcover. What do you think of Ed Wood, my dear friend?
Well, I'm really glad to see some of the out of print titles coming back into print.
Yes,
especially because like this, the original release of this was before I was aware of Vinegar Syndrome or Ocean or any of these titles. So I was like, whoa, great! And then it was already sold out and out of print. And I was like, fuck. Yeah, this is an Ed Wood movie that I haven't seen yet, so I'm excited about it. And D. Sibner just found out the expression comes originally from mathematics and engineering, where an envelope is a boundary, but it was popularized by test pilots. Okay. I find it still enigmatic. Well, in any case, speaking of envelope pushing, Ed Wood cinema. You know, I want to say here, I concur with all of the guys in Mystery Science Theater, Riff Tracks, the Mads, who love Ed Wood and find his cinema to be really strange and interesting.
Right.
And no, D. Sibner, I appreciate what you did. Now I'm intrigued to know more. Back to cookies. Anyways, you know, it always pissed me off when people would describe Ed Wood as the worst filmmaker of all time. Because if you judge a filmmaker based on talent plus resources, Ed Wood's actually pretty amazing. The fact that his films exist in the quality and the technical quality that they do, based on the resources that he had access to, is amazing. You know, I mean, I think there's a reason that Tim Burton's best film, I think by most people's estimation, is Ed Wood, because it captures that spirit that he had to have had in order to make his films. Now, this and the other film that you're about to announce came later in his career when he was in a pretty dark place. And so I'm really interested in seeing, how these look. And obviously a Frank Henenlotter commentary means it's going to be a film school. So what can I say? Ordered it immediately.
The other Ed Wood title we're going to be talking about after this next one. But first, VHS Hitfest is releasing Vile from 1997.
Yeah.
What a wild slipcover, at least the front of this one.
I like the back better.
Yeah, they both look good, but the front is interesting. This says, when Dr. Walter Hall creates a drug that turns men into unstoppable beasts, the government will stop at nothing to get it. Forced by the pressure of authority, Dr. Hall injects John, an unsuspecting bum, and unleashes a terror on the community. 5 days in one man's life gives him an eternity in hell when he reopened an old experiment. When he reopens, Vile 21. Made in the mid-90s by special effects veteran Mike Strain Jr., Vile 21 is an SFX tour de force of creatures, gore, stop motion, and rubber masks. That's like the big four right there. VHS Hitfest is beyond excited to bring this regional obscurity to disc for the first time with the new edit transferred from the original master. This one's region free, brand new special edition cut transferred from the original master. It's got the original VHS cut, an audio commentary by Mike Strain Jr., commentary by Ronnie Sorter, behind the scenes bonus film called Hotel of Terror, and some deleted scenes. There is a lot on this.
Someone just turned on the disposal in the sink.
And they put as many spoons as they could fit in there?
Yeah, basically. Which actually is appropriate to this film, I think. The trash what the hell is the word?
Garbage disposal?
Yeah, in the sink.
Yes.
It's called a garbage disposal?
Yes.
I never knew that. Well, I never had that growing up. This is the first time I've had one. And it's weird because there's some kinds of fruit you're supposed to put in there and some kinds of fruit you're not.
I mean, if you've ever worked for a plumber, like I always tell people, the biggest thing I put in there is a bubble. I don't put anything in there, literally.
Man, I wish I'd worked for a plumber. The life of the mind is a fucking lie. All these people are mad about the humanities getting destroyed at colleges. I'm not. It's a lie. We don't make people better. Look at the world.
And that is the snippet that they're going to share from tonight's show. Thank you, Will.
Support STEM.
Next title is Ed Wood, and it's The Violent Years. Again, this is another re-release for AGFA. The same exact disc as came out previously. If you have that original disc, you probably don't need the new one. Slipcovers for this one and the other Ed Wood title are both sold out already.
Wow. I'm glad I got mine.
Yeah, AGFA went quick this month.
Yeah, dude. I mean, look. Love Ed Wood, hate Ed Wood. He is a unique voice in American cinema. Moving on.
Yep. I thought there was going to be more on Ed Wood. New merch available to order from some of the partner labels and Vinegar Syndrome themselves. We got a Heavy Metal Parking Lot shirt. We've got this Don't Fall in Love with Yourself vinyl that came out from Enjoy the Ride. Skateboard the Movie got a few pieces of merch this month. Fun looking tote bag there. And then the Adam Rifkin Film Festival available on VHS now. Commando Ninja available on paperback. And then this Sons of Steel paperback, Future's End. This already sold out, like within the first hour of going up.
Oh, well, I guess I missed it. That's a bonus.
Yeah.
I like all the novelizations that people are doing now. I want to do one. Somebody
that
let me
would
do
be
it.
Fun. That would be fun.
Yeah. I'll do the 77-minute version of Stephen King on film.
I'll do an even shorter cut, and we'll put them both out.
Oh, hey, speaking of Adam Rifkin, if you guys want to read a little something about Adam Rifkin's career, Mr. Stan Geezy has a nice article in the Physical Media Advocate, number 6, but doesn't talk a lot about the Nut House in that article. And Stan, I want to talk with you about the Nut House, which was originally a Scott Spiegel film written by Sam and Ivan Raimi and Bruce Campbell. But Scott Spiegel was fired, and the Raimis and Campbell took Alan Smithy credits. And the film turned out to be kind of messed up, but it's not very good. But you can definitely see the Raimi moments. There's all kinds of Three Stooges stuff. And it's got a pretty nice early performance by Tracy Lords, who actually is probably the best part of the movie, and not in a way that you would expect. I mean, in terms of the comedy, I think she's pretty good in it. But the movie sucks. But it's interesting because of its history. So anyway.
The Ginger Shit is sharing the thing that I was going to share next. If you're interested in some Saturn's Core releases or the Doris Wishman, you don't like the name, Will? Or the Doris Wishman sets, Vinegar Syndrome currently has some bundles on the site for those releases, and they are very cheap. Like, I think there are 13 Saturn's Core releases with slipcovers, and it's like $110 or something like that.
What?
It is.
When did they make bundles?
Wildly cheap, yeah.
Wait, where is it? It's on the Vinegar Syndrome website?
Yep.
Why didn't I get an email?
I think they did, actually. Tonight's not the first night. It was earlier. I'm not sure when, but yeah, they've got a couple different bundles going on right now.
Well,
if you search bundle, I'm sorry, it is $130, and it's I got those numbers backwards. That's all it is. It is 10 titles with slipcovers for $130, and it's in the sale section. There you go. All right, Will has disappeared again, so go into the next one. February 26th, in a Walmart exclusive Blu-ray steelbook, Hollow Man from 2000 is coming. This is a Mill Creek disc, and this is going to have a bonus feature on this that's brand new, an interview with Jerry Goldsmith, biographer Jeff Bond. And this slipcover looks okay, but also it's not that effective. I mean, we've got a Hollow Man double feature that came out in the UK. Let's get a little more going on.
You know, if I were gonna do an April Fool's joke, I would just mail the slipcover.
Yes.
Anyway, I can't wait to tell my kids that Santa Claus couldn't come because their dad spent $130 on Saturn's Core films.
Oh boy. Next title is The Rachel Papers is coming from MGM Studios. This is from 1989. A charming, witty teen comedy follows a young genius played by Dexter Fletcher as he allows his raging hormones, high intellect, and desktop computer to ensnare him in the most unsolvable of all equations, love.
His desktop computer.
Yeah.
Where he does battle with the Lawnmower Man in virtual reality.
But also, something else to pop into this, MGM is like quietly releasing a lot of catalog titles. And I believe Amazon bought MGM fully, right?
I don't know.
I think so. Anyways, next title is another MGM title, and that's Romantic Comedy from 1983. This one says a playwright hits a creative roadblock until a novice writer enters the scene. She not only helps him pen hit after hit, she also steals his heart. Now there are just two things standing in the way of the romance: his wife and her husband. Starring Mary Steenburgen and Dudley Moore. That looks a lot like Griffin Dunn to me, though.
I gotta tell you, MGM is sparing no expense on these cover art. The cover arts for these films.
No, they're not great, obviously.
What you can't see is that Dudley Moore is actually standing up.
Oh, Will. Next up,
You sure? You sure?
I
Dudley
thought,
Moore's
yeah, I got that. February 20th, in a wide release Blu-ray steelbook from RLJE and Shudder, VHS triple feature for VHS 94, VHS 99, and VHS 85. This is the front of the steel, and this is the back.
Mhm.
This is interesting because tonight we get our first look at possible upcoming options for steelbook releases. So this one is coming out widely. It's going everywhere. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Walmart, everywhere. But we got a handful of titles that are coming out as Walmart exclusives. And I wanted to really highlight something that I had heard recently, and that is on each of these titles that are coming out, there is like an actual negotiation happening for steelbook releases. If a retailer doesn't choose to like bid on a title basically to come out as an exclusive steelbook, sometimes it just won't get a steelbook in the US and it will only go elsewhere. So it's a very odd situation. I'm very curious to see how the future is because I know a lot of people on here love steelbooks. I like steelbooks quite a bit, but I guess the big question now, Will, what do you think of these anthologies? Have you seen any of the VHS films, especially the new trilogy?
Well, I'm pretty excited because one of the special features includes a footage of the theatrical screening where you can listen to Danzig talk over the film, and that really adds to the ambiance for me.
Have a good night, Craig.
Night, Craig.
Oh boy, that was funny.
I just wanna
that was
say-
just for Jim Long.
I want to say before Craig leaves, I ordered Mysterious Castle direct.
Next, 4K Steelbook from Lionsgate, coming in early 2024 is the brand new John Woo film, Silent Night. This one has been getting some very divisive reviews, but I'm very curious to check this one out. Are you into John Woo at all?
Yeah. I was actually when I went to prison tonight.
When I went to prison tonight,
when I went to prison
love
tonight, I had
this.
to like well when I went in, like I was in the like area, the recreational area. I had this like vision of face-off situation happening to me, and I'm like trapped.
Right.
But yeah, I love the Killer and Bullet in the Head and all of that. And I even like, I like most of his Hollywood output. I actually haven't seen Paycheck yet, so I'm not going to shit on it until I do. So I'm definitely going to see Silent Night. I'm intrigued by the idea that there's no dialogue. I want to see how that works.
Yeah, and I think this is like the second or third film that's went with that gimmick over the last year. I don't know. It doesn't always work for me. Doesn't always work.
What, like the entire history of silent cinema is a problem for you?
I mean, yeah, because it's mostly racist. It's not a problem for you.
What the fuck?
I'm I'm just making sure you're on your toes.
I just jumped on the new Kickstarter today for Redwood. What's her name? Redwood Creek.
Yeah.
Follow the House of Usher. Holy shit! Can't wait.
Good stuff.
Wait, is that the right title?
I don't think so.
Nuh-uh.
I'm not sure. All right, next title is Bluebeard, coming from Kino Lorber. This is the 1944 Bluebeard. It's got a new HD master by Paramount. No release date on this one, but it's the John Carradine film. And then the next title is Anaconda, coming as a Walmart exclusive Blu-ray steelbook, again from Mill Creek, with nothing new on the disc.
That's the perfect pairing to me. like everything I like about Mill Creek and Walmart is Anaconda. You know what I mean? Like Anaconda as a film is a Walmart exclusive put together by Mill Creek. And I say that in the best way possible. Normally, I know that would be an insult. But in Anaconda's case, it works. I can't speak to the sequels, never seen them.
Right.
But I love Anaconda.
It's a fun movie.
I mean, Luke Wilson. I think his performance in Anaconda is one of his funniest performances.
Anyways, the 2020 Children of the Corn is coming as a 4K UHD steelbook to Walmart exclusively. If you really want that one, this is the front of the steel, and this is the back. No
Okay,
word on.
That's more what I would expect from a Walmart exclusive.
Oh, absolutely. As Children of the Corn.
Also, I was right. It is the fall of the House of Usher. Everybody should go check out the Kickstarter for it. It looks amazing. Co-written by Louis Buñuel.
All right.
On with Children of the Corn. Looks great.
Does it?
No, I don't care about it. Charlize Theron's first movie was Children of the Corn 4.
That was the most random piece of trivia. Oh man. Next title, The Manchurian Candidate from 2004 is coming in 4K from Kino, eventually brand new 2023 HDR Dolby Vision master by Paramount from a 4K scan of the OCN. Did you ever see the remake, Will?
Not yet, but I did pick up a copy because there was like some Kino sale where it was $4.99. And I always check out Jonathan Demme movies, even though I don't really. I like the idea of Jonathan Demme, but most of his movies I just don't like. I think my favorite thing that he did was that music video he made for the punk band Suburban Lawns. What is it? Gidget Goes to Hell. Did you ever see that?
I did not.
They made it for Saturday Night Live back in the early 80s.
Maybe I did then.
I love Suburban Lawns. Great band. But yeah, I think my favorite Jonathan Demme movie. Wait, let me make sure.
I'm sure this one will sell well for Kino. That's the big thing. Is I'm sure this is going to be a great release.
Yeah, they don't need my help. Oh, I'm glad I looked it up because I about said a Mike Nichols movie. I about said my favorite Jonathan Demme movie was a Mike Nichols movie. Yeah, so if I didn't already have the Blu-ray of this, I'd probably be looking at it. D. Simner says Silence of the Lambs. My favorite thing about Silence of the Lambs is that there's little cameos by George Romero and Roger Corman and John Garfield. Is it John Garfield? Well, anyway. Silence of the Lambs just never worked for me for some reason. It should have. I think it's probably something wrong with me.
I like Silence of the Lambs, but I prefer Manhunter. That one's much more interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh! Stop making sense. Thank you, R1133. That's pretty awesome. Oh, and that Neil Young Heart of Gold concert video. That was good. Okay. I love Jonathan Demme's music films.
Oh man, I love how you're saying that, and then you're come to find out that Jonathan Demme did like an Insane Clown Posse tour video or something.
I would fucking love that. Jonathan Demme Insane Clown Posse movie. Oh, come on, that would be awesome. The silence of the Juggalos.
I should have named a different band. I forgot that you would worship anything like that. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Look, I'm not saying ICP is a great band or anything, but the fourth Joker's card was pretty good. Riddlebox.
So how about Indicator, huh? Indicator on February 19th in the UK and February 20th in the US are releasing this title and the next title. Both of those are going to be dual releases. They are both going to be 4K and Blu-ray releases in a limited edition hardbox. This first one is Patrick from 1978, and this has a brand new 4K HDR restoration from the OCN by Indicator themselves. There are 3 presentations in this package: the original Aussie theatrical cut, the shortened US theatrical cut with American dubbing, and the Italian theatrical version featuring an alternative score by Italian prog legends Goblin and presented with English subs for the first time ever. We got a commentary with Richard Franklin and the screenwriter Everett De Rocha from 2002. An on-set interview with Richard Franklin, an interview with Richard Franklin from 2001 that was previously unseen. Coffee Break with Anthony I. Giannani from 2009. We've got the Not Quite Hollywood interview excerpts, of course. And then Stephen Morgan on Patrick. He gives an appreciation by the academic and Australian cinema specialist on Patrick. Newly translated subs for the Italian soundtrack, like I said. And then we've got a booklet in this, of course, with the new essay by Alan Miller. This one's going to be 80 pages.
Wow. Now, who did the previous release of Patrick? It wasn't Severin.
Severin, I think.
I thought they did Patrick Lives. Or did they do both?
I thought they did both. Am I dumb? I mean, don't answer that because that answer is probably true. But
let the chat correct us. But
yes, great. Severin released Patrick in 2014.
Oh, okay. And wait, did you say, is this an updated scan?
Oh, yeah. Brand new 4K. Yeah. Brand new scan.
Damn, man. Well,
this will be, it is technically a re-release, I guess, but also it's a 10-year-old release by the time this comes out with the brand new HDR grade. This is a huge difference.
Yeah, that changed the calculus of my budgeting. And let me also say, because there was a comment about it, send your mom on up to the stove, tell that bitch to bring home some Faygo.
Oh man.
Just a little shout out to the chat. Okay. Yeah, this looks great then.
Yeah, so brand new format coming out on UHD. That's a big difference. Now the other one that might be a little more egregious for people, Snapshot from 1979 is the other Indicator title. Now this one is different because Vinegar Syndrome put this out a handful of years ago, but also 88 Films released this on Blu-ray just a couple years ago as part of their Slasher Classics collection. So,
and Simon Windsor, he's the one that did Daryl, right?
That sounds right. I think so. I'm fairly sure.
The chat will correct us. Yeah. Wait, what's the problem with this?
It just barely came out on Blu-ray in the UK a couple years ago, and now it's getting another Blu-ray release in the UK, but also a 4K release.
Yeah.
So, yep, that'll happen. And then the special features, there's not even a whole lot brand new. There's again another appreciation by Stephen Morgan, and then you got an 80-page booklet in this with the new essay. But other than that, everything else is archival. And yeah, I could see a little more on this one. Why people would be just slightly upset, especially if you had just bought that 88 Films one.
Mm-hmm.
But this one's a good movie. Have you seen this one?
No, I haven't. I was trying to make a bra-sized joke about it being Region A.
Jesus, Will. It's also Region B, though. Come on. Anyways, we also got some shout announcements. February 13th on 4K, they are releasing Willy's Wonderland from 2021. This will be a 4K UHD and Blu-ray combo coming out as a standard release and a steelbook with a really interesting cover. This one, we don't know any of the extras yet, of course, because it's Shout, so we'll know after it ships what they're putting on the discs. But yeah, this is coming on February 13th. You can pre-order both of those now, and the steelbook version of this is available in Amazon. Should be available pretty much everywhere.
December says he prefers Region 3. That's great. The bra burning.
Love it.
Uh,
Next title is a big one.
we're not gonna-
Tenacious
we're not gonna-
D in the
we're
Pick
not
of
gonna-
Destiny.
We're not going to talk about Nicolas Cage at all?
I mean, if you really want to.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Anything on Willy's Wonderland?
Well, there was a recent article in the New Yorker, the New Yorker magazine, about Nicolas Cage, his recent sort of resurgence of reputation among serious film critics. And I don't think this film made the cut, but that new one where he's in everybody's dreams. That's what
Yeah.
But anyway, it was interesting because they talked about, he was among a handful of actors of his generation that were kind of anti-method and didn't necessarily care about realism in their acting styles, which explains his insistence on wearing like fake buck teeth and Peggy Sue Got Married, and his acting style in Valley Girl, and his conflict with the Coen brothers and on Raising Arizona, the production of Raising Arizona, and so on. Anyway, it was an interesting article, and Cage was kind of frank about his awareness of his memification, which I thought was interesting. Based on the cover, I'm assuming that when did this come out? 2021? Are they trying to like cash in on a FNAF thing or something?
Yes, but the funny thing is, most people seem, well, I shouldn't generalize like that, but many people seem to prefer this over the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Well, I didn't care for the film. I mean, my daughter liked it, but
But speaking of the John Woo film we just talked about, Nicolas Cage doesn't speak in this whole movie.
Oh, really?
Doesn't say a single word.
Well, that's interesting.
And for somebody like Cage, you would think that they would want him to.
Yeah, but he's also very emotive.
Extremely, of course.
I kind of checked. I don't know. I kind of want to check this out now.
John DeMarco taking the word out of my mouth right after I say it.
Yeah. I mean, normally I want him to talk. I got to tell you though, I thought Mandy sucked. So I'm interested in checking out some other resurgent film.
Well, that's enough, Will. Wow,
All right.
Mandy sucked.
Mr. Cancel Culture over here coming at me with the woke brigade.
Just because of one opinion, you deserve it. Mandy sucked?
Yeah, I didn't care for Mandy.
Oh,
look, my wife only likes horror movies, and she didn't like Mandy either. And don't mess with her.
Stan says you're wrong. Silent Mandible says, "Whoa, wait, your PhD is mine now, buddy." Dallas is laughing at my face after that.
Well, you know what? I actually, I'll take that. Nobody got mad when I said I didn't like Oppenheimer, and I appreciate that because that means we've got a reasonable crowd. But also, Sam Deegan agreed with me about Oppenheimer. I don't know what Sam thinks of Mandy. Mandy just didn't work. I wanted it to work for me, it just didn't.
John, Oppenheimer, Silence of the Lambs, and Mandy.
Yeah, you're right. Look, I'm not. I recognize that I'm the problem, but I would appreciate if you spell my name correctly, Joe.
Anyways, let's go to one that I hope you love because I love this movie. Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny is finally making its HD debut on Blu-ray from Shout Factory. It's coming on the Shout Select line. This is one that is obviously a little frustrating. So we don't know any of the special features, of course. Final extras and specs will be confirmed at a later date. They're not doing a poster for this. It's not a collector's edition, so I'm not expecting too much. But the biggest thing for me is the rumor a couple, well, gosh, by this point, it's probably been 9 or 10 months. Somebody from Arrow hinted that they had it. So now I'm curious if Arrow is going to release it in the UK, maybe. And I'm willing to bet Arrow would do about 8,412% better with it than Shout would.
Wow. Shout at the Arrow. Motley Crue.
No, I got that. First off, have you seen the movie? What do you think of the movie?
I have.
This seems like a Will movie.
Why? Why would you say that? I wanted to like it.
Jesus Christ. Well, why do we have you on every month?
I don't know. I don't want to be here.
You can go back to prison. Go back to prison.
Yeah, me and Dax Shepard.
Anyways, I love this movie. Coming out February 13th on Blu-ray. Next one, February 6th, they're doing The Terminal Man from 1974. No extras listed, and it doesn't even show that they're working on extras for this one. So I would expect nothing. But also,
when you're terminal, what's the point?
This one's interesting because it used to be a Warner Archive DVD, and so it's yet another one that Warner Archive is letting go, which is kind of a good sign. I mean, I like what Warner Archive does, but they probably Shout, I'm sure, is just using a Warner Archive scan potentially for this. Not much else that they could do. But
man, I'm getting killed.
I mean, it's a really funny comment.
I'm getting killed. Wait, what movie am I even talking about?
The Terminal Man.
No, the one that I didn't like.
Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
No, the one that they're mad about.
Mandy?
Mandy.
Pick one of the 7 titles that you've pissed everybody off with.
Mandy was so unmemorable to me that I forgot already that I didn't like it. I'm testing the goodwill of the.
If this is the goodwill, then we've got issues.
No, yeah, right. Look, it's okay to like Mandy. I'm not mad at anybody for liking Mandy. So why would anybody get mad at me for not liking it? I don't know.
John says, "Let's talk Tarantino and really get Will sent back to prison."
Oh man, some guys brought it up tonight, and I had to really think about how I talked about it. Because I was like, what kind of crowd am I dealing with? And so I went with the one thing that I knew was safe to say. I said, Jackie Brown is his best movie. And everybody was like, that's right.
Somehow that still sounds a little bit racist. Next up.
Oh my God.
Oh, your reactions are pretty funny. Love it. Next title, Sam Raimi's Darkman from 1990 is getting a 4K release on February 20th and a standard collector's edition and a steelbook. Art on the steelbook on this is pretty damn nice. I wish they did this as a like a Lionsgate slipcover steelbook where the cutout was on the plastic sleeve, but alas, they are not. What do you think of Darkman?
Hot take. I like it.
It's not a bad movie.
Oh, are you kidding? Like, no, I think this is actually really good.
I'm sure you do.
I love Larry Drake in it. I think actually Darkman is one of the underrated Sam Raimi movies because the sort of comedy dark tone shift really works great. Yeah. What?
It's just a funny response. I don't know.
I don't know what to say. Like now I don't know what to say about things.
You can say I like Mandy and I like Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
I wanted to like Mandy, and I wanted to like the Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. Just like when I bought the Tenacious D album, I thought Wonder Boy was incredible. I thought the tribute was incredible. The Dio song, I love Dio, man. The Dio song was incredible. But then the rest of the album, I was like, God damn, this isn't, you know?
No, I
Like,
don't, because I like them all.
yeah, I just something wrong with me. Somebody said in the chat that it was like a it's not you, it's me situation, and they're right. I don't want you to think I'm shitting on your things you love, but I can't say that I like something that I don't like.
I get it. Darkman is also coming out in a couple different packages. Shout is back doing some of their fancy let's throw everything in releases. This one is going to have the regular edition with the slipcover and the steelbook, plus a single pin, plus a single prism sticker, plus both posters and lobby cards. They're also putting out the steelbook poster, pin, lobby card, prism sticker, all of those in one giant, put everything together package. But some of the pricing on this, Will, when you're looking at a release of
Here we go
Darkman,
with the lobby cards.
a release of Darkman on 4K, that you get both releases, 4K, steelbook and standard, 2 posters, a single pin, a single sticker, and some lobby cards. How much do you think you would be willing to pay for this, Will?
This is like the opposite of an infomercial.
Just how much do you think you'd be willing to pay for 2 releases of the same film?
I'll tell you one thing: I wouldn't pay a goddamn cent for a lobby card. What am I going to do with the lobby cards? I don't understand lobby cards in general.
Will, what if I told you this was $99 for all of this?
Then I would tell you I'd not be picking up this package.
It's wrong. It's actually $130
Holy shit!
for 2 copies of the same movie, and some lobby cards, and a single pin, and a single sticker.
Wow. They'll follow this up with the underseen Sam Raimi film For Love of Swindle.
I'm so glad that just worked out, because I thought you were going to be like, oh, $100. That's less than expected. No, you went all in. That joke worked perfect. Yeah, this is rough for 2 copies of the same movie. I
like, how could you tell your kids you'd done something like that? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's like the darkest timeline version of It's a Wonderful Life or something. You come home and be like, I bought the Darkman set. There'll be no Christmas this year, Zuzu.
But I also got a prism sticker. so it's okay now.
But you can't open it because it'll lose its value instantly.
It'll lose its $15 value.
Yeah. Brendan Timmons points out you can get 10 Saturn Scorpio.
With all of them with higher quality slipcovers than the slipcover.
And each of them has a bonus film.
Jesus. Oh boy.
Well, look, I love Darkman. And I one of the all-time great Bruce Campbell cameo shots at the end. But yeah, there's no way, dude. On to Jess Franco.
On to Will's favorite, Jess Franco.
favorite.
First question I got to ask. March 26th, coming on 4K from Blue Underground. The big question: Night of the Blood Monster, which is the U.S. name, or the Bloody Judge? Which do you prefer, Will?
Well, I definitely prefer that cover.
It's a good cover.
No, I actually did not know that alternate title, Night of the Blood Monster. I've got the 88 films version of Bloody Judge. Is it 88?
Yes.
Yeah. And I've got the Blue Underground DVD of Bloody Judge. So
wait, they called it the Bloody Judge on DVD, but not on 4K?
This is the first 4K.
No, the Blue Underground DVD release is called the Bloody Judge. The Bloody Judge. I can't say it.
Yeah.
So
that's I don't know. I mean, Night of the Blood Monster is objectively a better title, even if it's not as descriptive.
So this is a world premiere of a brand new 2023 4K master of the complete uncensored version of the film. This is going to have an embossed slipcover, reversible sleeve, an audio commentary with Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson, an audio commentary with Kim Newman and Barry Forshaw, another audio commentary with David Flint and Adrian Smith, interviews with Jess Franco and Christopher Lee, interview with Stephen Thrower, who wrote the tome on Jess Franco, of course, and then interviews with filmmaker Alan Birkinshaw and Stephen Thrower on Harry Allen Towers, deleted and alternate scenes, and some trailers, TV spot, and all that fun stuff. This is a pretty good looking release.
This is amazing. 3 commentaries with 6 people talking about
Nicomedes. Oh, the Fed raising interest rates is making Shout Factory purchases out of reach for the average American. I don't know that interest rates are affecting it much. I think it's probably greed.
Well,
that is a great comment. And thanks for the donation there, Nicomedes.
That's at the heart of it. And the good thing about donations to the Disconnected is that they are write-offs, right? You can write them off? Can you do that?
I'm not sure. I'm not a tax expert. Ask your uncle.
My uncle works at a paper factory.
Is he printing money? That would be useful.
No, man. He does reams.
Bloody Judge. What do you think of this one and the whole Jess Franco oeuvre?
I like it. It's it's a good Inquisition story. It'd be a good double feature with like Witchfinder General or what's that movie? Mask of Vinegar Syndrome just put out.
The Black
4K?
Mask?
No,
4K.
Mark of the Devil. Is that it? The torture
yes.
movie?
Yes.
Yeah. With Udo Kier. Yeah. What am I going to say? If you like Jess Franco, you're going to like this. This is, if you don't really know Jess Franco, this is more of like a, this is more recognizable as a film. You know what I mean? Like it's the kind of pacing and composition that you'd be more used to if you're not familiar with Franco. So it's a good entry film for those who are maybe wanting to try Jess Franco. If you're already into Jess Franco, you already probably like this.
Sibner wants to know, does this live up to the cover that we see?
More or less.
Interesting. We had somebody ask earlier, what, in your opinion, is Jess Franco's worst film?
Well, to call something worst, you'd have to really define what that word means. I mean,
unless it's Mandy, then Will can start ranting immediately.
All I'm saying is I didn't like Mandy. I didn't say it was a bad movie in any way. I want to make that clear. It just wasn't for me.
Oh, we are going to dig into this until it's not funny anymore.
If every movie is someone's favorite movie, then every movie also has to be someone's like not favorite movie.
We don't talk about the negative, William.
Well, you're asking me what I think Franco's worst film
is. Just because somebody asked your opinion because they know that you are passionate about Jess Franco.
Well, here's a good question. Which is better, Bloody Moon or Bloody Judge? And I don't think I could say because they're so different. They're completely different genres and styles. And what you like about Bloody Moon will have like you won't even be able to recognize in Bloody Judge and vice versa.
What if you're like me and liked pretty much nothing about Bloody Moon?
Well, as far as if I had to choose which one I wanted to watch on a given night, I'd probably go with Bloody Judge, just because I like Christopher Lee and this film has some resonance with other Inquisition horror films and Hammer films and things like that. But Bloody Moon, I think is really interesting. You know, I agree with Pedro Almodovar that it's a really interesting film. Now, I think most people would agree that if you were going to answer the question, what is Franco's worst film, it'd be one of his later digital movies that he made in his apartment.
Yeah.
So D. Cinder asks if Sinner is worth picking up from Kino, and I'll answer that with, well, do you think Citizen Kane is a good movie? If you think Citizen Kane is a good movie, but you want to swap Charles Foster Kane out with like a murderous prostitute, then yes, you should pick up Sinner from Kino because it is Citizen Kane.
Next title, The Horrible Dr. Hitchcock. This is one that just got released in the UK by Radiance and is now being released in the US by Vinegar Syndrome in January on 4K. And it sounds like this is going to have a slew of exclusive extras, a slew of new stuff that was not on that Radiance release. And this says it will be a part of our 2024 subscriber week lineup, which will run from January 1st through 7th, which will see daily unveilings of our next VSU, VSA, and several other big surprises. But on top of that, go ahead, Will.
I just said daggone.
Oh, this wasn't announced as part of that, but on one of the individuals that's going to be on this, he had posted elsewhere that as far as extras are concerned, you will not be disappointed. Besides an interview with Barbara Steele, you can also expect to find a brand new interview with the writer Ernesto Gastaldi, 2 featurettes starring longtime Frida collaborator Marcello Avallone, and a newly recorded audio commentary with Troy Howarth, Nathaniel Thompson, and Eugenio Ercolani. So there will be a lot on this disc.
Man, have you had all 3 of them? Wait, have you had who was the middle guy?
Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson. Yes, all 3.
You've had all 3 on this channel.
Yes.
That's amazing, dude.
Multiple times on all 3, I think.
That's amazing, dude.
Yes. Yeah, that's a fun one.
What an exciting title. And look at that cover art. The back could not possibly be as good.
And this is the cover art for the hard box. It is going to be probably a box with a slip on the inside.
It's getting a hard box.
Yes, this is the hard case artwork for The Horrible Dr. Hitchcock.
Too bad it ain't in time for Shelf Shock.
Well, it will be for next year. They also say in here, this is one of many Italian films planned for 2024, including Morgiali, Gothic horror, and 80s supernatural madness.
Oh, hell
yeah. Next title is a Kino re-release of Witness for the Prosecution from 1957. This gets a new audio commentary by Joseph McBride, the author of the Billy Wilder Dancing on the Edge book. This is now going to have the BD50 disc instead of a BD25, and it's got a new audio commentary with English subtitles, and the previous release did not have subs. So it's a re-release, but it'll look better.
Oh, get it. This movie is awesome. It's got a segment from Volker Schlondorf's documentary, Billy Wilder Speaks, which is a great documentary. And this is a great film. It's way better than any of the films we've talked about tonight.
Except for Mandy. Next title. Platoon is getting a Walmart exclusive 4K Steelbook from Shout and MGM coming on February 27th. And now this is where it starts to get weird, because just like they were doing for Best Buy, Shout is not announcing this. This just showed up on Walmart and people found it. It's not something that Shout is advertising, saying that they're putting out or anything like that. This is unfortunately the same exact scan that they put on their other 4K, which looks like it looks like ass, and not good ass, like really bad ass. And not badass in a cool way, like terrible ass.
Flat ass.
Even worse. Flat might almost be an improvement.
Wow.
Yeah. David
Walmart.
says, not to be that guy, but why no 4K on witness for the prosecution? Because Kino doesn't do a lot of their own scans. They're not doing a new scan on that. It's up to the studio, unfortunately. Silent Mandible says concave ass.
Walmart does not support the troops. I'll tell you a funny story. Well, I don't know if it's actually funny. But in 1994, I went to what was then called the I went to what was then called Clinch Valley College in southwestern Virginia. It's now called UVA College at Wise.
Did you say Clench Valley?
Clinch Valley, yeah.
After we're talking about ass, you just say Clench Valley like that's not a joke. I'm sorry.
That's what I thought of the story.
Okay.
I went to Clinch Valley College, which is now called the UVA College at Wise, to make it sound. It's technically it's Clinch with an I, but yeah, Clinch Valley. But anyway, I went there for it was like a summer program for high school kids or whatever. And our chaperones took us on a night on the town, which involved like going to Walmart. And this is in
what?
This is in. I've told the story about Pound, Virginia, where it's illegal to dance, right?
I think so.
Yeah, this is where that was. Anyways, we go to Walmart for our night out on the town, and I found on a little rack there for $5 these T-shirts that had these. It was like a guy in a muscle shirt with these like huge muscles holding a pickaxe and with a hard hat, and it said, "I dig coal and Walmart supports me," which is not true. Like Walmart doesn't support any of you poor fuckers. It's sucking the blood out of your necks.
Right.
And so I bought the shirt, and I still have it. I still wear it. 20 some years later. No, 30 years later. It's probably the highest quality T-shirt ever sold by Walmart.
That's really funny.
Yeah. I'll try and find it for the next episode in case anybody wants to see.
I would love to see you wearing that in the next episode.
I dig coal and Walmart supports me. Yeah, right.
Next one, Steelbook coming from Shout and MGM again, The Magnificent Seven in 4K. This is also coming as a Walmart exclusive on February 27th. Nothing new, again, not being advertised. Just an odd situation. I still don't understand why Shout's not like, hey, we're putting this out. Do they not care?
Well, now they're going to be like, movies to be announced at a later time.
We're going to be selling a Steelbook. We'll let you know what it is the day after it's on sale.
Right. Steelbook of Clifford.
Which one? You'll find out later. It might be the animated show.
Right. Or it could be the Martin Short one.
Which is better? It depends on how drunk you are.
Hey, speaking of drunks, Jeremy Long's here. Get some help, buddy.
Wow.
I say it out of love.
Oh, Will. Eureka had a couple announcements today. First one, Bodyguard Kiba 1 and 2, double bill of Japanese martial arts mayhem starring action superstar Sonny Chiba. This is coming with the new feature-length commentary on both films in this. This is going to have the alternate U.S. version of Bodyguard Kiba and a brand new documentary featurette looking at Sonny Chiba's Bodyguard Kiba films. Eureka just doing more and more and more with these. This is it's kind of crazy because Eureka used to be, not that they're not, because they still do a handful every year, but like Masters of Cinema was their big draw, and now they're doing like 95% martial arts titles. It's kind of a weird turn, and people are starting to complain on their posts.
Why?
Because it's not exactly what that individual wants, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, Steelbook 4K of Mandy, I guess.
It's so the opposite. That's the funny part. They really want like old school classics.
Well, that's all good and stuff, but I like. Well, what's the line that Laurence Olivier says in Spartacus? I like oysters and clams. He was talking about being a bisexual, but I'm talking about being a bisexual and liking martial arts and classic films. It's funny. Bodyguard Kiba came up tonight because one of the inmates asked what I thought of Tarantino, and I talked about. I was trying to be diplomatic and talked about Jackie Brown and everything. But then, of course, Pulp Fiction comes up, and I had to be like, "Look, Tarantino didn't even read his own Bible. He got that Ezekiel line from Bodyguard Kiba by Sonny Chiba. You know, everything comes from, he lifted dialogue from Cleopatra Jones, whatever. I love the Bodyguard films. That's what I'm trying to get to.
I need to see these. They look like a great release.
You've never seen Bodyguard Kiba? Oh, dude.
And I've seen Pulp Fiction at least twice.
Pulp Fiction, Jesus.
The next one is a very curious release. They are also putting out a Joseph Quo film called The Swordsman of All Swordsmen, and that is from 1968. But the probably bigger draw for many people
is what they used to call me back in the day.
There is a second disc in this release coming with The Mystery of Chess Boxing. Now, unfortunately, this one has burned in English subtitles, so you will not be able to turn those off. And that's the best that they're going to be able to do on this release, unfortunately. So I think that's the main reason why they're not being able to put that out on its own release, because they know that some people would complain again about that. But now we're getting 2 films in one release, and this will have new feature-length commentary by Frank Jang and John Charles on The Swordsman of All Swordsmen. And then on Mystery of Chess Boxing, you're going to have a commentary with Frank Jang and Michael Wirth, but also a commentary by Mike Leader and Arna Venema. And this looks like, again, another must-buy release. Like, when you put both of these films together, how could you not?
I can't believe they couldn't get a single member of the Wu-Tang Clan to talk about Mystery of Chess Boxing, but whatever.
And that's the thing. Did they try?
I don't know, man.
I'd love to know if they did.
I would have. I'd been, look, at least give us Master Killer.
You should. It sucks that it can't be its own release, but at the same time, maybe there'll be a U.S. release of this from like Discotheque or something, and they'll get some of that. But who knows?
Or a Wu Mart exclusive.
Oh, God, Will. That was worse than some of my puns on the Discord. I liked it, though. Oh, man. Next one up, and we're almost done. MVD is hosting a Synapse film sale right now. It is going until December 18th at noon Eastern. And just like a lot of the MVD titles, so many of their stuff, it's just been on sale consistently for the last like 6 months. I feel like there is always a Synapse and Arrow sale going on lately. But if you're missing any of these titles, or you wanted some from the last sale and missed out, this is the perfect time. Unfortunately, I feel like the Synapse stuff, it never really goes down to that great price point. So we'll see.
Whoa. Let me recommend a Synapse title, whatever its price point. Invaluable, the true story of an epic artist, which is about the dude who did a lot of the prop design and art for Evil Dead. But for me, the best part of that disc is as a bonus feature, it has the documentary Other Men's Careers, which is about the filmmaker Josh Becker, who directed Running Time, Thou Shalt Not Kill Except, Lunatics, A Love Story, many of the best episodes of Xena, Hercules and the Maze of the Minotaur, and on and on. And it's definitely worth watching. Well, both documentaries are worth it, but I think that's, for me, that's like Synapse's best release of the year, and nobody else would agree with me. Like, and they'd be right. They'd be right. Totally, like, because of my obsessions, that's the best. That's my favorite release. But you guys got to see it. It's great. It's great.
And then
anybody who shows me a proof of purchase for Invaluable and gives me like a 3-sentence review of Other Men's Careers, I will watch Mandy again for you. Like, for everybody. Everybody who does, like, I will watch Mandy as many times as I get that.
Okay. If you have enough to spare, please put Will out of his Mandy misery. And yeah, that would be hilarious.
And somebody tell Jerry and Don that I'm doing this for them.
Oh man. That'll be a fun Synapse podcast episode in the future. Will Dodson on to talk about how many times he had to watch Mandy because he sold Invaluable on behalf of Synapse.
Wouldn't that be awesome if it became like their best-selling title of the year?
Just to make you watch Mandy.
Like, for the first time ever, a title outsold Suspiria. And it was Invaluable.
Josh Becker waking up tomorrow going, what the hell? Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes, and after I watch Mandy as many times as I have to, I will make a video for Ryan to post.
Please review it after every single watch, though, not just at the end. After every watch.
It'll be like a vlog.
I can imagine the Blair Witch-esques. I'm so scared. I have to watch it again.
It's so man. Purple.
It's hilarious. Okay, we're done with Invaluable and Synapse. Dragonheart, again, coming as a Walmart exclusive 4K Steelbook from Universal and Shout on February 27th. Same releases they did before, just in the Steelbook.
Oh man, I saw this on a high school date. Terrible, man.
How do you feel about this art?
What am I looking at?
Exactly. It's not terrible. It's inoffensive, but
it looks like, I feel like a member of Devo's face is starting to melt.
Or it's the start of like a 1994 music video, and they would zoom out, and this would be in a glass of water or something. I just the original art on this is so much better than this abstract glob. I don't know.
Abstract Glob was actually the name of my no wave
biology teacher in junior year.
No, we released 3 albums, all on indie labels for us. Abstract Blob, check us out.
There is another original poster though too, isn't there, Sibner?
That's the original art? Wow.
John, this is accurate. I've said Walmart more times tonight than every other Thursday combined. Thanks, Best Buy. Ugh. And finally, what a way to end this week. February 20th, Kino is releasing the 6th Blu-ray in the Kino cult line, and it is Drifter from 1974. Have you seen this one?
No, but I'm gonna.
This is an interesting
look. Rocco. Okay, cool. Yeah. This is gay as hell. I can't wait to see it.
Crazy good looking release. It says a prolific filmmaker who explored documentary, narrative, and experimental cinema. Pat Rocco captured the essence of queer culture in the 60s and early 70s when it was still largely ignored by the popular media. Having achieved notoriety in the gay underground, Rocco expected his third feature to cross over to general audiences. A West Coast response to Midnight Cowboy, Drifter observes the odyssey of an emotionally ambivalent bisexual hustler as he wanders through a series of relationships with men and women yearning for a sense of belonging in a Southern California characterized by impersonal pickups and sex for hire. And all these Kino cult titles, they are going all out on extras. Did you see this? Audio commentary by Finley Freebert, 4 short films. That that doesn't happen on Kino releases. Like a commentary and 4 shorts. That's great.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, ambivalence is an important part of bisexuality. No, I'm excited. I can't wait to see this, actually. I think Pat Rocco is cool. Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, this looks like a solid release, and really going in on the Kino Cult line. Again, 4 shorts, commentary on something that has been largely underseen. So far, this sounds great, what they're doing for this line.
I mean, Jess Franco, Phil Rocco, Pompoko. I'm loving it.
Have a good night, Silent Mandible.
And with that, adieu.
Yeah, this very, very interesting looking Kino Cult just going crazy. And then, not to mention, we still have the Ilsa titles coming in 2024 on that line.
Oh, dude.
All right, coming out next week, in case you forgot, let's discuss that right quick. We talked about John Woo tonight, and Face Off on 4K is being released next week. The Mandalorian Complete Seasons 1 and 2, Clue 4K, Del Toro's Pinocchio coming from Criterion, the Looney Tunes Collector's Choice Volume 2 is releasing next week, The Creator releasing on 4K and Blu-ray, wide release of the Bollywood Horror Collection from Mondo Macabro, Kill Butterfly Kill from Neon Eagle, The Wailing 4K from Wellgo. I gotta check that out. I love that movie. The Old Boy 4K release from Neon, Weird, the Al Yankovic story from Shout, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem Steelbook releasing next week. The Man from Nowhere, another 4K coming from Wellgo. Cushing Curiosities is out and shipping from Severin, coming out wide next week.
Wow,
and
look
then
at all this stuff.
It's a pretty big week next week. The Great Ziegfeld from Warner Archive, Long Arm of the Law, Parts 1 and 2 from 88 Films, The Red Balloon from Criterion, The Man Who Wasn't There, 3D from Kino, The Terror from Film Masters, Gentleman Jim from Warner Archive, Tarzan, The Ape Men, Savage Guns, the next spaghetti western set from Arrow. I've got that on the way. Five Nights at Freddy's already coming out on 4K. The Warriors is shipping now to a lot of people. Warriors 4K. Suspect Zero 4K from Kino. Danza Macabra from Severin. Anna Christie from Warner Archive. Day of the Locust from Arrow. School Days 4K. Pollock from Sony Pictures Classics. Madame Bovary from Warner Archive. Dumb Money from Sony. Running Scared from Kino. There's almost too much.
Let's talk about Blue Rita.
Goodbye Dragon Inn from Kino. I'm just kidding. Blue Rita. What about Blue Rita?
Yeah, it's a Jess Franco movie.
Yeah, I know. I thought you were going to say something else.
I like it.
Nikomidi says, all I want in 24 is Argento's Opera and more Seijun Suzuki. Everything else is gravy. It sounds like it's happening for sure. Mondo New York coming from MVD Rewind. Wow, the Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz from Fun City Editions, which I'm hearing a lot of people that said once Fun City left as a partner label, I've not bought a single thing. And that's, to me, that's crazy. They're still putting out tons of great titles since they've been gone.
Well, three.
Well, I think we're on 4 or 5 releases now, actually.
Oh, that tons?
They've only been gone for like 9 months.
Well,
one of them was a triple feature.
Look, I think they're great. I'm just saying, it's tons. I don't think that's good. That wouldn't be a good business model. I think they should.
Let's compare their output to Culture Shock.
Well, I'm not comparing. That's like comparing children. I'm just saying.
One of those children doesn't exist.
I wouldn't say they're putting on tons. I think they're doing a good, solid release plan.
I agree they had a slow start at the beginning, and that's because, from what I hear, MVD, you don't need to stifle the laughter. MVD requires like a 5-month lead time for titles. So that's exactly why it was a slow start for them. You all
The
right?
apprenticeship of Fun City. In other words, that's what you're saying.
Sure, that's exactly what I'm saying. Hail Caesar from MVD Rewind. Life is cheap, but toilet paper is expensive. Coming from Arbalos. Reminder that one is probably going to be flying under a lot of people's radar and has been a really difficult film to see. So you should probably check that out from Arbalos. Saving Grace from Warner Archive. I'm not sure if I said a Midwinter's Tale before your rant. I meant to say it. So Midwinter's Tale from Warner Archive. Jailhouse Wardress, another kind of Jess Franco film.
It is not.
When I zoom in here, I believe that says Jess Franco.
No, things can say a lot of things, but it's footage from Jess Franco's barbed wire dolls mixed in with additional stuff by some French dude.
I love how defensive you get about this.
Well, it's not a Jess Franco film.
Right.
It's a film that has Jess Franco footage in it.
Casino coming out, just for everybody that's aware, all this is the 4K remaster for what went on the Casino 4K. They're just putting out a Blu-ray version of that. Passages coming out from Mubi, the Quatermass Experiment from Kino getting that re-release, Walk Up from Cinema Guild, and Fremont coming. God, there's again tons of stuff in the next week.
Can I ask you? Do you? I'm not like a nerd about Quatermass stuff. I'm not. But I get super annoyed when people say Quartermass. Do you get annoyed?
I do, especially because they're clearly not even reading the word.
Yeah.
There's not an R there.
Yeah. It's like Quartermass being mischievous. It's like, how many letters are you going to insert into this title, sir?
Any of these titles stick out for you for next week?
Oh my God, so many.
Yes.
Scroll down a little bit. Obviously, the Bollywood horror is amazing, and Clue, and the ones that I would really highlight are continue. Gentleman Jim, Raoul Walsh, Savage Guns, of course, has the Fulci, Danse Macabre, Volume 2. And I can't believe no one, I can't believe no one has created an advertising campaign around Warriors out in 4K. Like why hasn't that happened? Yeah. But the one I really want to highlight is Anna Christie, because this was the first sound film with Greta Garbo, and that, I believe, the DVD, and I hope the Blu-ray, contains two versions of Anna Christie, one in English and one in Swedish. Does the Blu-ray have both versions?
Let me see. I don't remember on the announcement.
Because I gotta tell you, you gotta see. It's worth it to see both versions. You don't have to be able to speak Swedish. There's subtitles.
New 4K restoration of the film from Preservation Elements, 1930 German language version directed by Jacques.
German, not Swedish. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, and that's it. And yes, it is in HD.
German and English. You have both versions. Oh, fuck yeah! And School Days, which I think is one of Spike Lee's best films and one of the best musicals of the last. Shoot, I guess I have now
40 years.
40 years.
Brian, I didn't even know you were here tonight. What's going on?
I like shouted him out. But anyways, School Days, Anna Christie. What else is at the bottom there?
Too much. Too much.
We'll keep going. We don't have a topic afterwards. This is the shortest we've ever gone. Oh, Madame Bovary. Holy shit. Look at all this great stuff. Horrors of the Black Museum is finally out. That should have been a whole show right there.
I just hope it ends up good. There's a couple this week that worry me on quality-wise, because Horrors of the Black Museum is coming from VCI, and VCI has a really spotty track record. And then, we've already I've more so ranted about Shout Tonight. Clue is like one of my most beloved titles, and I've not seen any reviews for that one up yet, and I'm really hoping they nailed this release, because Clue has never had a great release, and I'm dying to see what we could get on it.
I still wish they'd release like 4 different versions of the 4K so people would have
Right.
to buy them all.
Or, I mean,
With
88 Films did that lottery thing where when you play the film, the disc will somehow choose an ending for you. I should be able to put it in and not know what ending is going to play.
Yeah, we should be able to have that.
Come on.
What else is at the bottom? There's at least one more I wanted to like. Different as that is not the Coen Brothers Hail Caesar. Let's make that clear.
Correct. That is the 1994 Hail Caesar with Robert Downey Jr. and Anthony Michael Hall and Samuel L. Jackson.
I think you just sold some units, right, by saying that. Yeah. Oh man, so much great stuff this week.
It's a hell of a week.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we don't have a topic, anything else going on that you want to talk about or bring up, discuss with everybody?
Did you talk about Spider Labyrinth yet?
A little bit, but we didn't talk much about on the process or anything. You want to talk about how interesting it was to discuss that one, especially now that it's back and available to buy on their site. It's not closed down or anything. So
it's funny. Ryan's talked a little bit about the formation of someone's favorite productions. I guess I don't really watch when I'm not on.
I laugh because I know how much of a lie that is.
But so the Spider Labyrinth is the first disc that's come out with a visual essay and a audio commentary by us. But it was like the 6th or 7th thing we actually did, and we can't say any of the ones that we've done so far, right?
I mean, we can talk about the Jack Arnold essay for Film Masters.
Right, Film Masters, right. But that's coming out in February.
Yes.
And so it's just kind of funny because when the opportunity came to do Spider Labyrinth, we were like, whoa! And I don't mind telling you that, and this is totally my own fault, I did force Ryan to re-record the entire thing from scratch.
This is true.
After we did the whole thing, and then I was like, "No, it sucks. We have to do it again." And to his credit, Ryan agreed. It was not the best. So I appreciate that we had the opportunity to do it a second time. So if you purchase the Spider Labyrinth and you listen to the commentary and you're like, wow, this is terrible, let me tell you, it could have been a lot worse.
I'm so glad you led with if you think it's terrible. We got a question from Sand Hamwich. First off, great name. But second, the question is, what is a visual essay?
That's a great question because it was a bit of a controversy for me as well.
So visual essay, primarily we'll say the traditional visual essay is there's an individual that writes an essay on either a topic relating to the film, a topic of the film, something about an actor in the film, something related to the genre. There's all kinds of ways that you can take a visual essay. And you write the essay, but the big thing is because you're putting it on the disc, you want a visual aspect and not just a static shot for a 15-minute reading of an essay or something. You want shots from films. You want shots of posters from some of these films that you're talking about. If you're doing a piece on an individual, you could take pictures from their life. There's all kinds of things that you could throw up there. But a visual essay usually is somewhere between about 7 minutes and, for some of these releases, like 67 minutes. They go all over the place lengthwise, but usually it is that's a really funny joke. Spaghetti says it's 2,000 words on optometry. A visual essay is usually like an educational piece surrounding that film. And
Now,
our piece, I would love to hear Will talk about, but he wants to talk about how he misinterpreted what a visual essay was.
Well, I don't understand how that's different than documentary.
It's really not. It is a short form documentary.
Yet. For some people, there is a distinction. and it creates issues. Yeah, so our approach to visual essays, as you'll see if you do check out Spider Labyrinth and um, the Swiss Conspiracy, and some others that we can't say yet, is a little bit different. And I think that difference can be productive for people. Like in no way am I saying that like our visual essays are better or worse than anybody else's, just different. And part of the way they're different is in the way they bring in multiple voices.
I agree there. And I think the cool thing about visual essays is when you, especially when you collaborate with somebody, it can be written by one or two people, and then somebody else can put the visuals together for it, and then all of that comes together with an editor, and so you get these different names associated with the release, and everybody has a hand in it and a say of what's going into it. Ragnar asked a question a moment ago: why is everything in a boutique label world a secret? They're in sales. They shouldn't need to keep it a secret. And the big thing is, unfortunately, they're in sales, but everything is very volatile. Like a lot of these deals we've seen fall through behind the scenes with
Columbo,
titles.
right?
Columbo is the perfect example through Kino. They announced all the special features, and then within I don't even think it was a full week later, they announced that they couldn't bring in any of those special features except for the ones that they had with the prior releases for Columbo. So if we were allowed to tell you, hey, for label X, we recorded an audio commentary for this title. It hasn't been announced yet, but here's the title. That the original licensing company could just pull that title next week, and now they can't put it out. And now a bunch of people heard the announcement, but they didn't hear that it was canceled, and they're pissed because they're waiting for it to come out. So unfortunately, a lot of it, it's just up to so many people. And with the rights for these, I mean, especially some of these like obscure Italian films like Spider Labyrinth, there could have been a producer in Italy that thought he had the rights to the film, and another company in the United States that knew they had the rights to the film. They had the paper trail and everything, and Severin could announce a title, and then this producer could come and sue that they were releasing a film that he owns the rights to, and they could try to stall the release. And unfortunately, all of that, it makes it really difficult to be able to do this in any sort of transparent way, because it could change literally in the span of an hour. Anything can happen. There's so many things that can stall one of these releases, and stalling releases has happened like crazy to us already. I mean, I think it was the second commentary we did, second and third. Those titles should have been announced a couple months ago, and now they're supposedly not being announced till next summer. And
which is good, because I made you re-record one of those too.
It's true. But yeah, those are by the time they come out, that commentary on both of those is going to be a year old. It's going to be crazy.
And I'm always bitching at Ryan. I'm like, they don't give us enough time, and then we like rush and do it, and then it's like, oh, it's delayed for a year, and I'm like, well, can I rewrite it?
Ragnar says, did you guys get a discount at least? Most of the time when you contribute to a disc, they do get you a copy of the release. Yeah, that Columbo thing, that is still I'd love to find out what the reason was, even if it's, a year from now and everybody's forgotten about it. Everybody's loving their release that they have at home. It's already been on sale on the Kino sale for like $30. I just want to hear, what was the reason for them to announce everything and then pull it back? And we'll probably never know. That's the sad part.
Yeah. What's his name was recently on the Serial podcast, and talking about it a little bit. What's the guy's name?
Frank Tarzi. I'm just laughing because earlier I said that me and Sam Deegan were going to be on the Serial podcast, and you just made it sound like, yeah. Anyways.
Oh yeah. This is the food. Anyway, he alluded to it, and he was up front. He was like, "Look, we're pissed about it. We paid for the
a lot of people
features, and the people, did the research and did the work. I mean, Amanda Reyes has X'd about it, um, at least as far as what she's able to say. And so, yeah, like Ryan said, you assume it's something about rights disputes and stuff like that, but it's really unfortunate, especially knowing how much work goes into putting these things together. Holy shit, it's a lot of work. Oh man, you don't just sit down in front of, it's not like this show. You don't just like figure out how to put the microphone through your laptop and start talking.
Although that's a big part of it, and I've had to coach Will through a lot so far.
Almost every episode. Oh man, hey, you guys. Oh, you know what? You know what we should do for the Patreon is a behind the scenes of you getting me
record the setup process for a commentary. Oh my gosh!
To do literally anything.
The setup for one of the commentaries would just be me like this for like 45 minutes. Like, Will, listen.
Like restart your computer. I'm like, but I got my tabs.
Oh, it's so true to life. And people are out there going, what? Yeah, that has definitely been a big thing so far, is trying to make this work across the country on a lot of projects. And honestly, that's been one of the enriching parts of this. And I've hopefully been pretty transparent about what I could from the beginning. Is the whole someone's favorite thing was to get people involved that cannot normally be involved in a lot of these projects. So like bringing on Billy Ray Bruton, who is on the What Happens Next Will Scare You release that just got announced from TerraVision. He and I did a visual essay on anthology horror films. And I mean, I'm not trying to brag on me or the company or anything like that, but people that, they weren't reaching out to Billy Ray Bruton to be on a release. And now he gets to have his voice on one of these. And Sean from the Food for Thought podcast, he just did something for Game of Killers, and it's an incredible piece. Like, he wrote this amazing piece on Barry Chan that is genuinely like moving. I went through the whole process of editing this visual essay with Sean, and I went through to check something that he wanted me to verify. And not kidding, I started to check that part and got swept up in the visual essay that I edited and watched the entire thing again because I was so interested. It's a really fun piece, and it's just interesting to see all these people come together to create something.
I haven't finished it yet, but it seems like it's okay.
And the cool thing with Will and I and some of the other stuff that we're doing, we're actually trying to do something different on some of these. There's another one that hasn't been announced yet that's like a narrative poem that was really fun that Will doesn't love, but I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. I think it's a really interesting piece.
Yeah, it's okay.
I can't wait to tell the story behind that one eventually.
Yeah, I'll tell the story.
No, I still love what the label said about it. That's like the funniest part.
Yeah, it is funny. No, but it's been and we're not really able to tell the origin story yet. That will probably be another 6 months before we can tell the real story of how this all happened. Because you might be wondering, like, how are these fucking assholes doing anything? And the answer is not going to make you happy. You're going to be like, God. Like, talk about tripping over success.
Well, it's also the same thing that just brought the two of us together in to begin with. Like, a lot of these things have just been chance so far.
It's funny. I went to this fucking frou-frou liberal arts college. And it was in the 90s, so it wasn't as annoying as it is now, but it was like getting there. And they had this annual festival called Serendipity. It was an annual musical festival called Serendipity. And they booked this band that was just shit. And me and my friends all worked in our college radio station, and we were like, "God, this band they booked, the headline Serendipity is shit." I'll say their name. I don't care. Cowboy Mouth from New Orleans. Just crap band. Full. Just if you like Cowboy Mouth, unsubscribe.
Cowboy Mouth.
Yeah, like the name even sounds like a Phil Rocco movie or something. But anyway, actually, that's the best part of them. They actually suck. They're like some like crap, like neutered blues band. But anyway, I got all pissed, and all my friends got pissed, and we were like, we're gonna make an alternate music festival that runs at the same time, and we're going to call it Anti-Serendipity with the tagline, "Because fun is never an accident." And and the school was actually mad, but anyway, because of we were talking trash about the thing, they were spending thousands and thousands of dollars, and so we spent like hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get like local and regional punk and metal and hip hop bands to come and play at this coffee shop across the street. And wouldn't you know it, it rained, and the powers that be at this school hadn't planned anything for a rain situation. Like,
brilliant.
They didn't have an indoor venue prepared. And so we got our thing going, and we got, over the course of the weekend, tons. This is one of the proudest moments of my life. Like, so many people came, and the coffee shop sold alcohol to minors at like super jacked up prices, and we like just took the money.
Wow.
Just put it in our pockets. It was great. But the best part was Cowboy Mouth came into the shop and like got some drinks and stuff, and we're like, hey, because their show was canceled and they were there. They're like, "Do you guys want us to play?" And I was like, "No."
And that serendipity.
Because I was 21, and that's the kind of asshole I was. I was like, no, I don't want you to play. At what point did they take his doctorate away? Well, it's a public school. Doctors. It's like getting a certificate from like some astrology school online. Really, it doesn't mean a lot.
Yeah. So let's see. Anything else about the Film Masters release or Spider Labyrinth you want to talk about?
I just want to make it clear that Cowboy Mouth sucks.
Okay.
So the Film Masters release, listen, this was talk about serendipity. I mentioned this in an earlier episode, I think, but it just so happens, like this was totally coincidence, but it just so happens that this excellent writer and editor, Michael Schumann, is putting together a collection of essays on Jack Arnold, the director, for Edinburgh University Press, and I happen to be one of the contributors. I'm talking about one of his later films, a Western he did with D'Urville Martin and Fred the Hammer Williamson, if you can believe that. So anyway, we were able to get Mike Schumann and Christopher Woofter, who's also a contributor to the Jack Arnold book, to talk about the Swiss conspiracy and Arnold in the visual essay. So it turned out great. I can't wait for people to see it. Spaghetti. Cowboy Mouth is the next part. You know what? That would be, well, it's like a Bob Dylan phrase. Get that out of your mouth.
It took you so long to see it.
I saw it. I just didn't want to believe that you would do something like that to me.
Okay, I'll fix it for you.
I can change your shit too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot.
But you know what? But I wouldn't do that.
Oh, I would. I definitely would.
Nice change. ETR Media is going to release a Cowboy. Hey, you know what? ETR, if you do, you need to ask me for an interview.
So that you can make a PowerPoint on it.
Oh, man, I can tell you a pretty good story about those guys. Anyhow,
Yeah, the Jack Arnold piece is really, really great though. There's some really good interview pieces on that. The story of his life is it's just fascinating. The films that he touched, it's so crazy to think of how much he influenced.
oh, and
It's
TV.
yeah.
I mean, the modern sitcom owes so much to Jack Arnold.
Speaking of, really important week for the modern sitcom too, with Norman Lear passing.
Yeah, yeah, Norman Lear. I mean, no, that was going to veer into the political, so I'll let it go. It was really sad. I was sad to see that some people made some unkind comments about his passing, and it's like, come on, man. Like, you don't have to agree with the guy's politics to appreciate.
Right.
This guy made the Jeffersons. Yeah, you know, his impact on modern television is incalculable.
It's true. A really inspiring piece of the modern music scene, though. Mr. Daniel Sivner wanted me to share this piece that we just found. The Cowboy Health Band homepage.
Yep, that's them.
How could that just not be one of the most rocking bands of all time, Will?
Well, it was about what is 1990. No, it was 2000. So it was 25, 24, 23 years ago.
How are they still a band?
Actually, they look pretty good considering. But yeah, that's basically what they looked like. And they were like, "Hey, can we play?" And you know, I got like these industrial bands coming in. I got Blitzkid, the horror punk bands playing. I got Weak Lazy Liar, which was this really cool indie band. We had so much cool stuff going, and all credit to my fellow college radio people who like called in everybody that they knew to play this festival, which was a one-time only thing. And yeah, it was one of the great pleasures of my life to say no to cowboy meth. Oh, Jello Biafra came and did spoken word the week before, so it was like that was like a big moment of my life.
They're playing on February 15th. Can I get you some tickets?
Have Celeste go and give her review. I'm not going like no.
Anyways. Oh, that was hilarious.
Hey, you know what? God love them. They're still playing, they're doing what they love.
Yeah, that's pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool. I did not expect them to still be a band, and yet they've got a half year worth of tour dates announced in 2024.
My band broke up after one performance. Actually, before, because I had to do the performance by myself. Solo.
Oh boy, that's a rough band then.
I don't know if you know this. I'm kind of hard to get along with.
I've heard that. I've also been the person that was required to run and fetch you coffee. So
when did that happen?
When you lived in my house.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not my fault you live in some kind of fucking suburban food desert.
Suburban food desert, my ass.
I went with you. It was a gas station. It wasn't even.
You went once. I went alone 2 days in a row.
And I had to stay with Jeremy.
One day. The other day he was driving to Omaha.
Omaha? Somewhere in the middle of America.
I'm going to Omaha tomorrow.
Are you really?
I am. Anyways, to bring it back around, anything else about Jack Arnold or we talked a little bit about Jack Arnold. Anything else about the Spider Labyrinth essay that you want to throw out there?
Oh my god, man! Doing Spider Labyrinth was crazy. So yeah, our another serendipitous opportunity is that there's a new book coming out about the weird, capital W, the weird tradition in literature, and we managed to get the editors and one of the contributors to talk about the weird as a concept and Italian horror and then Spider Labyrinth specifically as being kind of connected to that weird tradition, which started with H.P. Lovecraft and others of his ilk. And I thought it turned out amazing. We just really we managed to get some really smart people to talk about it. And then the commentary process was a journey not unlike the main character in the film. You know, it was like we struggled and then found our way to destiny.
Yeah.
I can't even express to you what an honor it is. So thanks to Andrew Furtado and David Gregory for giving us the opportunity, and thanks to all of you who are going to check it out. You know, like I don't know what to say except like I can't believe it.
Yeah, this is a big deal, and this was an especially interesting one to do because for a lot of people, Spider Labyrinth, first off, if you've not heard of it, you're not alone. Not very many people have heard of Spider Labyrinth because it was a title that didn't have, and still as of this moment doesn't have anything like scholarly published on it, especially in the English language at least. There's not much research that's been done out there, not many interviews that were done, not really any resources. It was all about diving into who these people are that made this movie, when it was made, where it was made, and really just pulling apart at the seams for what the film is.
And the extras that they pulled together are amazing. They got interviews with the director, and, one of the writers, so many people, and it's almost like Spider Labyrinth has like a cult in waiting. Like there's all these people who saw it on bootleg DVD or on VHS, so weren't able to like see it as it is, and now they're going to have this definitive edition. And I'm not just saying, I'm not saying that like we've already been paid. We're not getting residuals or anything. So, and we didn't get paid. You know, it's not very much. But but the point is that now all these people who have been wanting to see Spider Labyrinth are going to get to. And I know that, you know, the 4Ks from Severin are not like a price point that everybody's excited about, but it's not like they're gouging you for lobby cards. Like you're just getting the movie at a very high quality.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yes, it is pricey. I will admit, I think it's really cool that they got the soundtrack, which I guarantee is a big portion of that price.
That's awesome. It's so good.
The soundtrack on this is surprisingly great.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done a lot of things in my life that I'm not proud of, but this is not one of them.
What a weird way to say that. Well, anything else you want to highlight before we call it a night, sir? We're at almost 3 hours here.
I feel like we should go for 2 hours more. Do you want to talk about politics or?
No, we've already did that. I probably had like 5 people unsubscribe just because of that.
Well, you know, let's say this. We need to get back to a point where we can disagree and still talk to each other afterwards.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. Well, what's funny about that is like it's easy for the cishet white guy to say, we need to hear everybody out and give them grace, you know, because nobody's trying to eradicate me yet.
I don't know. You are a teacher of the arts, so.
Oh, actually, yeah, I am. Like that part of my identity is definitely being eradicated, and soon. So let me know if you hear of any job opportunities. I just picked up some new part-time work in a different school. Starting next semester, we'll see how that goes. Going to be teaching at North Carolina A&T, which is one of the oldest and largest HBCUs in the country, and has former NBA basketball star J.R. Smith on its golf team. I agree, Christopher Silvestri. And
that was very slurred.
Christopher Silvestri. And in fact, I reached out to Blue Underground not long ago to let them know, if they want to do any more Jess Franco movies, here we are.
What is a Jess Franco film that you would like? You would battle people on a long, drawn out physical war to be able to do a commentary on?
Well, honestly, the ones I'd like to do the most are his like digital, like late year digital,
the late ones.
Yeah, like that. I would love to do those. But like, I'm looking at my Franco collection right now. Like the ones that still need upgrading, some of which it might be impossible, but we still have Succubus, we still have Venus and Furs.
Okay, stop right there. Do you know of anything that would be stopping Venus and Furs from coming out? I feel like that's one of the most obvious ones.
I think both of them have elements issues, is what I've read. There's the great Soledad Miranda film, The Devil Came from Akasawa. We got Virgin Report. Obviously, get me for that. Night of the Skulls. I'd like to do that one. Sadomania. Linda. Oh, you know what I'd love to do is the, he and Orson Welles worked on Don Quixote for a long time.
Yep.
And like 20 years after Welles died, Franco put together a very weird assemblage of their footage as Don Quixote. I'd love to talk about that shit. Yeah. Tender Flesh. Well, yeah, all that. There's
just basically any Franco. I got it.
Yeah, any of them.
Sand Hamwich is saying, could doing commentaries ever be a full-time job? And truthfully, there's already a few people that are doing it full-time. The main difference is they make a lot more doing them than Will and I will anytime soon. And that's for each individual track. They've got the reputation that they get more money for those things, and they get full-time work from it.
Well, let's point that out to any labels who might be listening. We charge like nothing.
Yeah, if you want very cheap labor, hello, how you doing?
No. The people who are able to do it, full time deserve it. Like they've set the standard.
John wants to know: have you worked Franco in any of your courses?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? So here, I was cautious. So the first film I actually tried out was Marquis de Sade's Justine, and I knew that would play pretty well because, there's it's a little bit tamer. But it's also more like conventionally shot. It's got a crazy Jack Palance performance in it, and it went really well. People liked it, and so over the years, I've done Vampiros Lesbos. I've done like a clip reel of like 30 of his different movies. I've done She Killed in Ecstasy. That went over pretty well. Yeah. Virgin Among the Living Dead. That one went pretty well. And Devil Came from Akasawa. That one's gone well.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the most like wild off the wall thing that you've put into one of those courses?
Well, it depends. It really depends on the audience. Like I've shown Doris Wishman's Bad Girls Go to Hell like a million times, and almost every time, at least one person has been like, I want to do my semester-long project on Doris Wishman. This movie was incredible. But this past semester when I showed it, it was by far the least favorite movie of the class. At the end of the class, like one of the questions on the, it's not really an exam, but it's like a final project where they have to answer questions. And one of the questions is to say what their favorite and least favorite films were and why. And this semester, for the first time, Bad Girls Go to Hell was by far the least favorite because of the relatively super tame. I mean, I'm not trying to discount it because it's sexual assault is horrific, but it's not like I showed Irreversible. You know what I mean? Like it's Bad Girls Go to Hell. It's fairly tame in its horrificness, but people didn't like it. And interestingly enough, their favorite movie, also by far this past semester, was Brian Usna's Society. So tell me how the fuck that is. That you're like, you know what, Bad Girls Go to Hell was kind of traumatic, but Society was amazing.
Oh man, the great shunting.
Loved Society. What's the wildest thing? Well, definitely the movie with the scene that was the hardest for most people was I've shown Roberta Findlay's Tenement, Game of Survival, several times, and that's got a scene that is impossible to be okay with. You know?
Yeah.
What has been the wildest thing that I've shown? I don't know. What do you consider wild? People like Brain Damage a lot, the Frank Henenlotter film.
It's a good one.
I showed Romper Stomper one time, and that was uncomfortable. But it was uncomfortable because everyone was like, God damn, this movie is awesome. And Russell Crowe is a really attractive character, but he's an awful Nazi. And the music is really catchy, but it's skinhead music, you know? Not good. So that was a tough one. All right, here it is. This might, given our audience, this might not seem too much, but definitely the most brutal movie that I've shown, and movie that really got the most like authentic and emotionally deep response from a class was this Korean film called Chaser. If any of you have seen Chaser, you're like, whoa. And if you haven't seen Chaser, seek it out. It's an amazing film. It's tough to watch. It's about a cop who has quit the force and become a pimp. And he's trying to track down a man who's murdering sex workers. So, lighthearted fun.
I feel like we talked about this title previously on the show.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's the one from 2008, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Interesting. Okay.
It had a Blu-ray release at some point, but it's out of print, and so all I have is my DVD.
Damn.
I don't know. I've been rambling on, man. How are you doing?
I'm all right. It's been a busier week than expected. Got just a lot going on. That's the big thing. Too many projects that are in the hopper. I feel like I never stop talking, and just last night I was like amazed that I don't lose my voice like once or twice a week. I'm shocked. The amount of talking I do at my day job, and then doing stuff for this, making phone calls for all the other stuff we do. It's a lot.
I gotta tell you, this man manages so many projects. Like, I can't believe we can only really talk about two of them, but like,
yeah. Well, they're not involving you, but we got two more that were announced from TerraVision too. So
that's right.
Those don't exist to Will.
No, of course they do. Go ahead and say which ones they are. Well, you talked about them already.
I did, yes, but it's 4 projects, not just 2.
We can only announce 2.
But we are someone's favorite. Come on.
Someone's favorite can announce 4.
Yes.
But in 2024, there's going to be like 10 or 15 more. Right?
At the very least.
Holy shit. You wouldn't believe it. Like I can't. It's crazy. Speaking of losing your voice, or gaining your voice, I'll recommend this. I recently listened to you and Billy Ray on what's it called? The Directors Podcast?
Oh, the Directors Club, yeah.
Directors Club, talking about Don Bluth.
Don Bluth. And speaking of, I just I didn't have a copy of it. I had to go pick up An American Tail.
Well, I got to tell you, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good episode. If you like Don Bluth.
Yeah, were you a Don Bluth stan growing up?
No.
No? Do you like any of
No, oh yeah. No, I'm a huge Secret of NIMH person.
Secret of NIMH is good, yeah.
I read the novel when I was a kid and then saw the movie, and big fan of Secret of NIMH. I mean, I recognize objectively that American Tail is great, but it's like, I don't think it'd be a surprise to anybody that's not my thing.
I still 100% believe Anastasia is Don Bluth's masterpiece.
I loved Anastasia.
That movie's amazing.
Ah, man, saw that in the theater one Thanksgiving, whenever it came out. The innards of Rasputin.
Yeah.
That's my shit right there. And just to go back to American Tail, I want to make it clear, I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm pro. I'm just not the Somewhere Out There song. That's not my deal.
I like An American Tail. I still think Five Goes West is actually a better film than American Tail.
Secret of NIMH all the way. I like it dark.
Anastasia.
Anastasia? All about
it. I will say, I was I think I said it on there. Troll in Central Park. That was the first time I'd ever seen it. Oh man, did I not enjoy that movie? That and Pebble and the Penguin. Oh god, are those both pretty bad? Yeah.
No, I didn't see that. Yeah. But enjoyed you guys on the Land Before Time is fine. I love it when the mom dies. Yeah, enjoyed hearing you guys on that podcast talking about Bluth and I mean, really, that's the closest we have in American animation to like the kind of nuance and darker themes that are commonplace in Ghibli movies.
Yeah.
But I don't think Bluth quite even gets to that level, but Descender is shocked like Anastasia. It is historically inaccurate. Yeah, I think we can only agree
so. But I believe some of that stuff actually happened after Anastasia was made. Like I think there was some stuff that proved that it was inaccurate, like 5 years after the movie came out. Chris says All Dogs Go to Heaven. I gotta admit, I rewatched All Dogs so I could talk about it on that podcast. Did not like it nearly as much as I did when I was a kid. I was not big on that movie.
Well, I just gotta say, knowing my own dog, it's not true. They don't and they won't. Some dogs are fucking assholes and they're gonna burn in hell.
Jesus will. On that note, let's call it a night. As usual, if you are interested, please subscribe if you have not. Reminder that Joel Fisher, who is commenting here, employee at Scarecrow Video in Seattle, is going to. I love that we're talking about Schoolgirl Report and Virgin Report in this comment I'm highlighting. Joel
was right. That's correct. Franco did Virgin Report.
Joel is our guest for next Thursday's Reconnected. Going to be a long, fun show next week. I didn't say anything about it tonight, but I put up a long video this week with Chris Stashew from the Culture Cast. We talked about found footage. If you're into found footage, go give that a watch. I think it's a really fun conversation because I actually really love found footage for the most part. Gosh, anything else going on that you want to highlight or talk about? other than pre-order Swiss Conspiracy and Spider Labyrinth?
Lake Mungo, man, that's a great one.
Good movie.
Yeah, I would love to do a commentary on any Don Bluth movie.
Me too.
I don't hate dogs. I love cats. That's the where you're asking what I wanted.
Anything you want to highlight other than Swiss Conspiracy and Spider Labyrinth?
I have recorded an appearance on a podcast talking about Wes Craven, among other things. And as soon as I get the go-ahead, I will share the information about it, and I hope people check it out. I'm in 2 essay collections about Wes Craven that just came out this year. One essay is on Hills Have Eyes Part 2, and the other is on his 5 television films. So I'm in a Wes Craven kind of mood. And as a teaser, well, like, why would you listen to it because of this? But like, I do go on at length about like how my dream is for Wes Craven's television films to be released as a box set with Amanda Reyes doing commentaries on every one. And maybe one of them. Like, give me one. But but yeah, that's going to be coming out soon, so I'll share it as I'm able to.
And one of the Wes Craven books, at least, I believe, is linked in the description below. You should go check it out. And all of Will's writing is incredible. And that is...
I wouldn't go that far.
I would. That is the reason that you are the other half of someone's favorite. If it was mediocre, I would have said no.
Someone's acceptable. Someone's good enough.
Oh man.
Someone's C+.
Someone's average is okay for most. Anyways, thank you all for a incredible week. As usual, check out the Physical Media Advocate if you are into that sort of thing.
Don't go yet. D. Simner just asked, did you know Toby Hooper wrote a novel? Which means that D. Sibner has not checked out my book, American Twilight, The Cinema of Toby Hooper.
Which is also linked in the description below, I believe.
Which includes some discussion of Midnight Movie, which is actually quite good. I highly recommend people check out Toby Hooper and Alan Goldshire wrote Midnight Movie, and it's quite good. Quite a good novel.
And that's all she wrote, because if we keep doing this, we're going to talk another 30 minutes. Thank you all. See you next Thursday. Have a good one. And it's